Hello, everyone. My name is Cutie, and welcome to Perilous Paths here on GDQ Hotfix. Our show focuses on Soulslikes, Roguelikes, and Metroidvanias, but we take a pretty broad definition of that here. So if it has challenging gameplay, exciting exploration, and meaningful progression, it's going to be fair game. Now, we have an absolutely incredible episode planned for you today. First up, we have Cave running Returnal, fresh file glitchless. Now, if you haven't played Returnal, this game kind of mixes all three of those genres and then throws in a shoot 'em up or a bullet hell. It's super exciting, it's colorful, it's incredibly challenging. I'm looking forward to this. Then afterwards, we have Hollow Knight, true ending, no major glitches with Stratus. Stratus is an absolute legend in the Hollow Knight community. I cannot talk today for whatever reason, but this is going to be an amazing run. It's going to showcase a lot more of the game than you normally see in any percent, so super excited for that. And then last and certainly not least, we have Hades Fresh File Hell Mode with Retrospector. Now, the fun thing about Hell Mode is it takes a lot of the difficulty spikes that you see normally at the end of game of Hades, known as the Pact of Punishment, I believe, and puts it onto a fresh file, meaning he is basically going to be playing the game with weights on. Like, it's going to be incredibly difficult. I'm super excited to see how he deals with those challenges and what that means and how it makes the run look a little different. But if you can't tell, I'm so excited for this. I can barely talk, so let's just get right into it. I'm going to bring in Cave and his commentator, Lunar Hostility. How are you guys doing, Tate?
Doing great. Thanks for having us.
Yo.
All right, guys.
Super pumped.
Go ahead and introduce yourselves. Tell us about the game. Tell us about the category, what we're going to be seeing, what we can expect. And then, just let's go from there and let's have fun.
Yeah, so this is Returnal. It's a third-person shooter, bullet hell roguelite. Got, just a lot of really tight boss fights, really tight movement. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. This category specifically is fresh file glitchless, which in my opinion is like the best category of the bunch. You get all the boss fights, you get all the movement, all the fun stuff. And yeah, I'm Cave, and I run the game. Luna, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Sure thing. So my name's Lunar Hostility. I also run Returnal, and my main category is the Tower of Sisyphus Phase 3. And I'll leave it at that.
Also a cool run. We're not going to get to see any of the tower today, but it is what it is. So I'm going to go ahead and restart the cycle. I know it looks like I've already started the game, but we literally have not left the starting room, so it's still a fresh file run. We haven't picked up anything. And yeah, time will start as soon as we get movement. So I'll go ahead and skip 2 cutscenes, and time will start in 3, 2, 1, go. So, to start talking about Returnal, our main form of movement for now is just going to be dashing. Dashing's faster than just doing regular sprinting. One thing to note as we're getting into it is that my sprint is always turned on based on settings. I also have changed some of my controls so that my dash is on L1, my melee is on R1. And that's really it. Here we're going to skip health at the start. We're going to pick that up later. It's like a super small time save, but still funny to do. You also may have noticed that I picked up the pistol.
And this is the one unskippable cutscene. Or, not the only one, but it used to be skippable. But it's pretty early on.
Yeah, so the glitch category is hilarious because this first section, we have one skip, and it's purely just to skip that cutscene. Because for whatever reason, there's 2 unskippable cutscenes in the whole game, and that's one of them.
Yeah. Yep.
Super not impactful cutscene either, which is the bizarre bit.
Yeah, it's not story critical or anything.
Go figure, Returnal has enemies you gotta go kill, I thought this was gonna just be a walk-along game. There, we do a quick little skip. Shout out El Santiago finding that one.
And just in general, we're, doing standard movement stuff, cutting corners, trying to stay, just as straight a lines as possible, something that's pretty consistent and normal for speedruns. Up here in a second, in Fresh File some time ago, we would drop in here and we would do a mini boss fight. But instead, you're going to see Cave right here. He's going to restart the cycle and do so again. We're going to come back to the beginning. And the way that saves time is just we skip an entire mini boss fight. which can be difficult for new players casually. So if you do want to skip it, that's the fastest way to do it.
It's one of those mini bosses where, like, the first time you play, you almost assume you're meant to die. You're 100% able to kill that boss. For us, though, it's faster to just reset the cycle twice. Here, we're going to get our alt fire. If you want to talk a little bit about alt fires, Lunar.
Yeah, absolutely. So alt fires are kind of a secondary form of using our weapons. They have a little bit longer cooldown than our main weapons kind of shots, but they do a lot of damage. Because this is a roguelike, there are RNGs to which ones you get. Some are much faster, better for individual bosses and fights. Some are a little bit different, but in general, just kind of timing and sorting out when and to use your alt fires can make quite a bit of difference. And will be in terms of how fast you go. And that'll especially be relevant in some of the boss fights that we have coming up.
As I'm progressing through the map, I know what door I'm going to based on the map itself. You can see, like, there's light blue doors that are squares. Those are the ones I'm looking to go through. I zoomed out the map a little bit in the settings also just to help with that. There, I did a quick little animation cancel by grabbing the teleporter upgrade before landing, which just stops Selena from doing, like, that superhero landing that she does when she falls from a high distance.
And we're coming up here. This is pretty hype. I'm a bit biased, but it is pretty hype. So you see these teleporters right here. When you hit them, it's kind of a long animation, but we're not going to do that because it's not fast. So we're going to jump all the way out, fall, and then dash there at the end. So that just saves time relative to the typical teleporter.
Yeah, I think that's, like, the only time we ever do that. And there's, like, no other scenario where, like, the teleporter is just in, like, a weird spot like that.
Mm-hmm.
Coming up, we have the most important piece of RNG of this run, which will determine my attitude for the next 40 minutes. If you want to go ahead and explain case weapon traits.
Okay, perfect. Let's go. So, sorry, we get a little hype about that. So, if you see down there in the lower right, you see slug shot here. By the way, this is the shotgun.
We just
which is
skipped the
going to be
carbine
a
earlier
really...
as a note, and that's to, like, reduce weapon RNG. We'll go through that later. Yeah, keep going.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you're going to see down there, as you can see, the bar is a little bit gone up a bit for slug shot. You'll see here, Cave's going to be killing enemies on the way here. We didn't used to do this. It's a speed run, so we wanted to go directly to the boss. But if he has to kill a certain number of enemies in order to unlock slug shot. And once he does, that's definitely going to help, especially with the second boss coming up here in a while. Did want to mention, this is a really good quick pace check early on. It's house. We won't ruin the lore, but that's her contemporary house. So that's kind of a, big part there at the beginning, kind of how fast you're going.
Definitely.
Lockdown.
Yeah, no lockdown skip. One day.
Yeah, we used to have the ability. So lockdowns, as the name implies, you see that large thing right there. Oh, and we can pick up the health here too if we have a good enough time. But you see this boss kind of spawning in here. That's the lockdown enemy. That just basically means before all of the doors open and allow us to progress, we have to kill the lockdown enemy. But as you can see, Kev right there rocking this shotgun, it's not going to be tremendously difficult. So, mini boss down, and we are now about to get, honestly, the most important item in the game for the speedrun. This is, okay, Zara, go ahead and talk about DMJ.
Yeah, do it.
All right, awesome. In case everybody didn't notice, we are now jumping extremely long distances. This is the main movement tech. Kay mentioned it some time ago about remapping dash, melee, and jump on his controller. That's just a way to really consistently do these DMJs. And it looks like just every single time might be the same, these long jumps. There's a lot of, as with any speed game, there's a lot of subtleties to it, a lot of different uses to it, but in general, it's just sort of almost the heart and soul of Returnal speedrunning. It just really changes how everything moves, and you'll see things go quite a bit quicker. And we'll see different examples of this going forward.
Yep, so there we teleported back to pick up the boss key, and then I went ahead and teleported forward up to the boss door, which it can go in a random spot. We got a pretty good spawn. The best spawn is when it spawns in the room where you get the sword, funny enough, which is a little rare, and in that case, you actually go up and get the teleporter in front of the boss door first and then get the key. But that's just part of, like, the fun variation with Returnal speedrunning, where you really have to, like, think on your toes. And now we have Freaky, if you want to go ahead and talk about this strategy here, Lunar.
Absolutely. So our melee does quite a bit of damage there's a reason, and that's just luck right there in terms of how much iframes there are. But in general, as you can see, he's got a bit of dinosaur arms going on. It's not, if we stand directly under him, it becomes much harder for him to hit us, and just meleeing him consistently. Obviously, you see right there, that's a thing when playing casually that will hit you a lot. He kind of does a bit of a backhand, but there are a small amount of iframes on the melee. Here, as you saw just there, that Cave's using to just kind of completely go through that. We could see up there at if you played it casually, this boss can be quite difficult, but if you look at that life bar, we are just meleeing, alt firing, taking him down pretty fast, and phase 2 down.
I missed the first melee iframe on purpose, actually.
I know.
I wanted to show you what it looked like when you did it wrong.
That's what we're going to say. I think it's true. But there, you'll see, there is in this phase, this will be a thing we talk about more with later bosses too. Right here, you see these purple fireballs coming out. If you're playing casually, you're really going to try to avoid those. But since we're going fast, you'll see something here, which is kind of taking the damage, and that just lets us get in a few more melees a little bit faster. And first boss down, let's go.
That was pretty solid for you. The one hit,
yeah, it was pretty solid.
But what can you do, you know? Oops, my first was DMJ in the run too. It's falling apart.
Oh no, it's all good.
This is actually the end.
All good.
Ixion gotta take me down.
All right, the second boss is going to be, Freaky's a bit of autopilot at a point when you've done Fresh Fog quite a bit. The second boss, though, which we'll be getting to up here in a while, is kind of, I would say, Cave, wouldn't you say most difficult boss
100%
in the game?
Yeah.
I would say 100%.
At least of the run.
Sure.
Of the game total, I mean, people might argue like Nemesis, maybe the first time you're playing, or like
Sure.
Hyperion, but of the speedrun, I
Sure.
would 100% say it's Ixion. This is the
And I
second
will say, yeah.
great place if you're
sorry.
learning the run. You can practice DMJs just because you have a lot of open space, so it's really easy to chain them together. We're gonna try to cut corners as much as we can, so we can see like the glowing tower over there. That's where we're trying to go. So we're just gonna cut across the desert when possible to just like skip going through rooms. That was a pretty good pattern as a whole. We're also gonna be focused, as Luna mentioned earlier, on trying to get Slug Shot unlocked at this point. And that's just gonna let us beat down the boss.
Nice.
It's actually basically necessary, to be honest. To beat Ixion, you just need the upgraded shotgun. Otherwise, your shotgun's not gonna do anything. Here, neat skip. We have a cutscene here when we get too close. By shooting that severed early, it actually just brings us right in front of it. All right.
And this
now
guy
we're
can do
climb the
all.
tower
Yeah.
while trying to make sure we get our weapon trade unlocked, and then also trying to make sure our health doesn't get too low, so that we're not terribly stressed out for Ixion.
And that mini boss will follow you if you played the game casually, or if you plan to. He will follow you. He will definitely follow you far,
was
man.
also another El Santiago one. One of the funniest things about Returnal is a lot of like the movement strategies came from people that don't actually speedrun the game. The Returnal like general community is just like super cool and helpful. So people that like never did speedruns would come in and often just show us stuff that we didn't know. In the 80% run, we just basically only used the Dreadbound, and that took us forever to figure out. And it was basically someone that had never done a speedrun came to us and was like, why don't you use the Dreadbound? Like, the Dreadbound is an unreal gun. But no one had ever tried it in the speedrun community. We also had a guy, shout out Chaddington Duck, who I don't think he's ever submitted a run, but he found like every important glitch in the glitch category.
Shout out to Duck, man. He found
Coming up on
he
Ixion,
found
we
every
do have 4
single-
enemies like right before the boss. So when I saw what my progress was at, you can sort of like to unlock the first weapon trait. Each weapon trait goes up to 3. To unlock the first one, it only takes 15 kills. So just based on how the bar looks, I knew I only had 1 left, so I didn't really stress out too much about killing any more enemies. Since we have the 4 here, so let's just. There we go. So now we have Slug Shot. Slug Shot's gonna make one of our shots shoot like a slug barrel, which when you see Ixion will make sense why we needed it so bad. Lou, do you want to talk about Ixion now?
Absolutely. So Ixion right here with the shotgun strat, you saw it right there. Cave immediately extremely aggressive.
Hello?
Ixion has a kind of a crit stagger point. Yeah, no problem. Sorry about that. So you see immediately as he comes on in, Ixion, we're using extremely aggressive strategy here, using the shotgun, getting directly in his face. He can do quite a bit of damage. We're taking some hits early on, but this is just going to save a ton of time. This is a sick fight, to be honest with you, right here. You guys didn't get to see anything else because we did a complete one cycle right there.
Pretty good phase one.
Very far. Yeah, that was a good phase one.
Well, phase 2 is the cycle one, but yeah. That was pretty much what we needed from phase 1.
And this right here is where these melee strats begin to come in right here. You'll see this right here. There's a bit of an auto-scroller, but by going there, it's done. The auto-scroller is completely finished. We go on the corner. You'll see these kind of coming down through here. Stand over there. We can jump through or dash through those. Quite a few bullets, as you see in Cave. In a second, we'll be looking up and kind of watching him come down really close, and that's just, again, so that he can DMJ close to him and just immediately start jumping and shooting at it. There you go. So you see, continue to be aggressive. We're doing a lot of lateral movement, which can block a lot of those fireballs or get around them, but not necessarily. This is one of the most prominent examples where we use DMJ quite a bit, actually, in this boss fight. Cave, wouldn't you say it's probably, not necessarily used as much in some other boss fights?
Yeah, it's really the only boss that's used, like, in the boss fight for movement, getting around. I'm not even going to get close to the one cycle here.
I think that's just fine. So point being, right here, you're going to see, but because we have slug shot, it's going to be much, much easier for him because obviously shotgun's a bit shorter range, but we're going to take him out. And now we are heading into Ixion Phase 3. This is the toughest thing, I would say, in the game combat-wise. This enemy can do so much damage to you. We're going to tank quite a bit, and Cave still has this health file he picked up at the beginning of the map. You see right here, we're using the melee. That was fast.
That went pretty well.
To remove a bunch of the fireballs, but right here, he's going to start getting extremely aggressive. Cave's going to back up. You'll see there's a specific timing. He's slamming the ground right there. That can do quite a bit of damage. We're staying away from his one arm, you see right there with the lights. That can take out all of your hits. We do have one-shot protection, but he can do more. This is the hypest thing in the entire boss fight. You see those red fireballs completely getting canceled out by melees when you go really aggressive like that all the way up there. Not gonna lie, this is kind of fast, guys. I hope everyone watching enjoys this because Ixion is down. Well done, kid.
Solid Ixion.
So, I think so. And we're gonna get, honestly, I would say, I don't know about you, Cave, this is my favorite of the permanent upgrades. It's a bit of a Metroidvania structure here. We now have the grapple. The grapple is going to allow us to do some really incredible movement stuff. As a note for further things, the grapple has complete and full iframes, so there is a lot of uses for it, but it's going to be extremely useful in the next biome for us to be going quite a bit faster than we normally would.
In biome 2, or we're in 3 now, sorry, the first thing we're going to scan after we pick up our health file is a calibrator. If you look on the bottom left where you see the star, that's going to be our player level. Based on that level, you can get different leveled weapons, and that's going to affect the traits you can unlock. So every gun has a total of 4 different tiers of traits. By hitting level 9, we're now able to see the second tier for each weapon. Specifically, we're looking for Explosive Spit for our shotgun. Explosive Spit really, really sucks against the boss of this biome, but is incredible literally everywhere else in the game. So we're going to look for a gun that has Explosive Spit, get it to 14 kills so that it's 1 away from unlocking the trait, and then our 15th kill is going to actually be the boss of this biome. So ideally, we find it soon. We're going to be looking for chests that are not malignant, so that's a malignant chest right there. Those like almost never actually have weapons in them, so we don't even bother, and they can give you a bad malignant trait. Ideally, perfect. All right.
Yo, let's go. Let's
great.
Go. Yeah. Shout out Hotfix for giving us the good RNG. I got to be honest.
Yeah, let me tell you.
That's exactly. Yeah, that's not necessarily easy to get. It is RNG, but that right there is the perfect. And you got Shield Breaker actually.
The last marathon I did, it did. Oh my. Anyways, the last marathon run I did not find explosive nearly so easy.
Yep. And we forgot to mention this way back at the beginning, Cave, but the dash also has iframes.
Dash also has
it's
iframes.
kind of a yes. These are no dash rooms. They're painful, obviously, not only for combat, but also for going fast. So we're not particularly fans of those. But because we have DMJ, we are able to do a lot of stuff like that. Just skip a whole lot of corners, a whole lot of areas. We're coming up around here. Cave's going to do a skip here. Yeah. Whole room down. We're coming out here, and we're going to hit this right here. This will extend the bridge all the way back a while ago that you saw Cave go there across this bridge. So we come back here, and this is kind of a hype moment, to be honest with you. This is here. You see this bridge begin to extend, but we're not going to wait for it to get all the way because we're speed running. We're going to GMJ right there all the way over. Use this. Cave, do you want to talk about fast versus slow tower?
It depends if we get fast tower, then I might want to talk about it. Otherwise, I'll pretend it. Oh, okay, we got fast tower. This tower has like 2 different paths at the bottom. This is fast tower. Technically, this is fast tower because originally that pattern was fast tower, and then we found out there was a faster way to get up the fast tower. It looks like I need 1 more kill, so I'll probably try to get it right here. I'm scared that those are 2 things. I don't want to melee that. I needed 1 more anyways. All right, perfect. Now we're ready to fight Nemesis. Let's try not...
You guys think we're joking?
Oh,
you guys think we're joking? This RNG is kind of fire, honestly. Between the fast and so on. We did take a bit of damage there.
Nemesis is going to be a little scary with no health, but I'm sure it's fine.
Sure, it's going to be fine.
We're going to reset cycle here because there's a really, really bad Nemesis glitch.
Oh, yeah.
And resetting the cycle kind of stops. Not restart, I'm supposed to suspend.
It's okay. So to be clear, just to go back a little bit, it's all good. So the first reason that this is not going to take nearly as much time is that we are able to DMJ extremely quickly all the way back. There's shortcuts that we had to the individual biomes. So Cave's going to be going through now, and you may have encountered this in your own playthrough. He's going to be going down looking through here for an individual sort of room, and it's going to let us take a shortcut all the way back to Nemesis. This is a thing casually, because you're often expected to die. He's going to be looking right here. There's a specific way that the room looks, and when we do that, it's going to be able to take us all the way back. So you see right here.
All right.
This now, because we have the grapple, we can grapple all the way up here. We're going to come back out in that third biome that we're at. Plus, that bridge is already extended, so we're good to go there. So he's going to be getting this calibrator, looking for some weapons again, and then we should be able to get back up to Nemesis pretty quickly.
And we're going to suspend the cycle this time before Nemesis. Fun fact, I don't think we've ever actually had to talk about the actual roguelike elements of Returnal, because I don't think I've ever actually died in a marathon run, so, you know, there we go. Alright, not the gun we need, so we'll keep looking.
And it's all good, though, because as we said before, there's quite a few chests. We kind of have a good sense based on the patterns where the chests are going to be. Come up here, we're continuing to do these grapples, getting a lot of momentum, and then just trying to look through for chests. I believe there's one over there.
No, those are the
those
like
aren't
chests. The ones that appear as chests on your map, but like aren't actually.
Sure. And so as you can see, despite, you know, with the reset, we come back through here. The bridge is already extended. We can use some different teleports. He's going to be looking through some of these preset sort of sections where we know there are chests. And we know, let's see.
Okay, we're good. We're good.
How did you get into me? I'm sorry. With this RNG, guys, again, we got to give it up to Hotfix, making sure that Cade's getting set up just right.
Yeah,
so,
appreciate Hotfix fixing my own faults. Real solid.
Oh, good.
I think make sure not to kill anything by accident now.
Yep. So as you saw, typically, you know, you would imagine if something like that happened and go all the way back, because of DMJ, because of the shortcuts, we're going to be just fine getting back up to Nemesis. We're going to climb this tower as fast as possible. He's not going to have to kill any additional enemies.
Didn't get slow tower this time.
All good.
So, you know, now we get to see both. Good. Also, it's not your stream. My computer's fighting for its life. Returnal's a
little sketch.
Returnal is a little tough to run on the old PC, but it's gonna take.
And it was a PS5 game first too, and there's some differences and similarities as there are with any speed game. See right there, that dash, getting those iframes. Going to be going through here. This is just a no dash room, and we're going to go back up at the top. Sorry, I would have meleeed him right there.
Dude, so. I was about to make a joke about it, but I was like, no one will really. I full on took my right hand off the controller because I 100% would have also meleeed that guy. I did the same exact thing to that turret. That's so funny. She said that.
Nice. However, we are right back where we were. Let's go, and we've got explosive spit going, and we also have the health file, which honestly is going to allow us to show off a bit more of kind of a hype strat with this boss.
Yeah, I actually also reset cycle on purpose. All the mistakes I've been making have been an on purpose kind of thing. All right, we're going to suspend cycle. Suspend
cycle. And the reason we're doing that, you'll see up here in a second, it's just fine. It's going to come back out, reshare stream, and then we're going to be back going. We hope you guys are having a good time in chat, enjoying Returnal. The game will be coming back up shortly. We do that, as Cave said, there's just a glitch up here, and if it happens, it's just costs you a ton of time. But we're not doing that. We're going to keep rocking up here in a second as soon as the cycle comes back up. And the intro things, and we are going to come directly back in.
Well, since we do have a second, apologies, I want to shout out to chat. We do have a hype train going, and so I just want to remind everyone that your subs, your Prime Gaming subs, your gift subs, bits, etc., cheered on the GDQ Twitch channel do help support Games Done Quick Hotfix. So if you're enjoying watching speedruns, especially this speedrun with the train active, consider subscribing to the channel to get access to all of our emotes and chat with other subscribers during our replays. And if you want to check out any more content that's going on during gamesdonequick.com/hotfix to check out our Season 4 schedule and check out the schedule for an in-depth look at all of the upcoming runs this week. But with that, I will toss it right back to you guys.
No, all good.
Awesome. Yeah, keep that train going, everyone. Makes me feel a little better that, at least I'm doing a little good somewhere in the run.
Let's go.
This is Nemesis. When you first play through Nemesis, ideally, you're probably not thinking shotgun's the way to go. As you saw there, kind of tore Nemesis up. You can sort of straddle the front and avoid a lot of damage. Here is where Nemesis glitch happens. If you don't do the reset, sometimes these platforms don't split apart, which makes this phase just impossible with the shotgun, and with other guns just really hard. So that's why we do. Whenever I'm world record grinding, I'll avoid it. Just another piece of RNG. But that's how roguelike speedruns go. But yeah, here's phase 2. We're gonna sort of do the same bit. Gonna try to just pour in as much damage as possible. There is a sort of phase to this, so we're trying to do enough damage to where Nemesis does not teleport here.
And we didn't mention it, but you can kind of hear there coming out of Cave's controller, he's doing called overload. It's a bit like the Gears of War reload method. Basically, whenever you see him use up a clip, we have infinite ammo, but when we time it right there, it's all good. That's going to mean that we're going to get reloads a little bit faster. So let's see here.
Jeez Louise.
It's all good, all good. We're going to be coming up over here, and we do have a really good alt fire for helping out right here. Cave, do you think on phase 3 you're going to go up with the health?
I don't know. I'm trying to, in my head, I'm trying to think how this is going to go, man.
It's all good. So we'll break it down kind of how it would work ideally and kind of where we're at. So optimally, this is, you see right here, all of the platforms have split up. We're going to be coming down here and grappling to each one of these. Again, we have full iframes. And the old strat that we used to use was tachymatic carbine. We did that because you can shoot him all the way in the back. In an optimal situation where we weren't getting hit by some of this random stuff, you're going to continue to move forward, and we're going to get directly in front of Nemesis and try and just drop down, hit him with the shotgun. We may or may not do that given the health situation, but as you can see from the top, we're going to be using a bit. Okay, do you think you're going to use more platforms and such to try and get away from it?
Well.
You think?
I don't. I was trying to do this long range with the shotgun, so might die here, but we do. I might just check backup files for a Bio 4 starter one.
I was going to say. Yeah, we might just go directly to Biome 4. To be clear, Cave got some pretty bad luck going into here, and that's just the nature of speedrunning roguelikes. But optimally, the way this is going to work is all good. We're going to reload something in Act 2. Again, we're running a roguelike, but optimally, what's going to happen, and if you went and watched World Record or all bosses, what would happen right there is Cave would drop directly down in front of the boss, and it would kind of do it pretty fast with the shotgun. In order for that to work out, though, he's going to have quite a few things go right. It's all good, though, because we're going to load up into the next area. I believe, Cave, you have a backup save for
I don't. I'm going to run it back.
Area. All right. We're going to run it back all over again, and then we're gonna see. So he's going to run it back one more time, and then we're going to be all good. I think people that have played this game casually know that it's very easy for things to kind of go wrong here and there, but we're going to keep it going.
Well, as the casual representative here, I will say I've played Returnal quite a bit, and my brain can barely process how quickly this is going and how much is on screen, even as someone who has beaten the game. So, like, there's no problems here. Like, this is hard, and it's hard for a reason, and that's why we show it off. So, sometimes stuff happens in marathons. It's all good.
This is the one.
Absolutely.
For sure, guys.
Absolutely. It's
dang, I was so far before the shot. I was like, "Oh, we get past Ixion, we're fine." Little did I know Nemesis would beat me up. But definitely, for sure, if we get past Nemesis, we're good.
We can't get tacky at this point, right? We had to scan it all the way back to the beginning. Yeah.
I probably could have, but I feel like I'm better at the shotgun version at this point. Like, I don't even know how the carbine one works. I guess Phase 3, kind of self-explanatory, but
sure. So again, we're coming back here. As you can see, we can get back there pretty fast. So we're going to continue to, you guys have already seen this before one time more. It's that we're coming back up here, DMJing across the bridge. He is going to be going and checking some chests. Again, we have a health vial. We're going to try not to get hit going up the top. How? How are you getting
Well, that was rapid spitter, so that's actually not what we want, unfortunately.
I know, but it's not explosive, unfortunately.
That is our first example of, there's several traits per tier. So that, for example, that's a malignant chest. So that was this is rapid spitter, which I might just run up to Nemesis with, to be honest, and then just try to unlock explosive in Biome 4, just based on, I'm gonna check a few more chests this way.
And then, to be clear, this level, and anyone that's played it casually can attest to it, these enemies hit really hard. We talked about Ixion hits really hard in terms of the bosses. These regular enemies can hit super ultra hard, so.
It's another rapid spitter. We're just gonna, We're
just gonna rock it?
Yeah.
It's all good. You're gonna use the health again. Go ahead and use it. Oh yeah, right here. So we're coming up here. There should be health in this area. Typically, up here in the top and in the left. So.
None at this time, unfortunately.
Yeah, none of this time, unfortunately. We do have, by the way, for our community, there is a whole set of save files, practice save files for every single area in the game. So we do have those that we can pull down.
We do, yeah. Shout out the Returnal speedrun community in general. We do have, a lot of people that are still pretty active in the Discord that are able to help out if people ever want to try out running. We have a lot of files, like the ones I should have downloaded, where it just sort of starts us out, in whatever biome you want to practice. Lunar, maybe even send me, or do yours start with shotgun?
I was about to say.
Does yours start with the shotgun, or does it have carbine?
I don't know, and I am SOSing right about now, but it's all good. We're going to get this sorted.
Dang.
So, it's all good. Again,
I do have my plat files, but I'm not sure what I did or didn't do in the plat run. I have my plat practice files, and I have one at the starter back too, so I might just load that in. I imagine I used the same guns. I think the only difference is probably I picked up some glyphs, probably.
I don't know for a fact that that's the case. I'm going to, well, I'm on it. We're going to see if we can get it. Just one moment. So please continue with the playthrough. Thank you so much to everyone in chat tuning into Hotfix. We really appreciate it.
For Nemesis Glitch.
And I will say also, I did want to give a shout out for the upcoming Hollow Knight and Hades Fresh Fall Hell Mode runs. Definitely stick around with us.
Yeah, they're going to crush it.
You check those out. Oh, for sure.
The schedule is crazy.
Yep.
Oh, yep. Reshare this.
So, Yep. A shotgun. Cool. We're going to come right on back. Again, this is a bit standard. You know, it takes a second to restart. And we're coming back on Nemesis again.
I played a little safer this time, probably.
Because we don't have the health. The answer to that question, Cave, is that the subsequent save files have old strats.
So, old strats? Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, well, might be new, but I'm just going to say let's go ahead with there.
I should just simply not die here. I should just do that instead.
Seems like the most optimal plan, to be completely honest with you. But, but here we go. We're figuring it out. So I'm going to send you, Cave, now, those, and we will see.
We can do some Returnal community shout out. I know I saw Uplink and Larry in the chat earlier. We got some guys like Dice Map, R2, more tower runners.
Absolutely.
Underrated category.
Yeah. So, Cave, I'm, hold on. I'm going to send it to you real quick. Going to continue on with there. Just one moment. Because we want to keep it going and make sure you guys are able to check out the second part of the run without seeing Nemesis a whole bunch of times. But again, assuming an optimal thing right here, it's going to be quite fast. So.
All right. Well, there's the phase skip at least. So saw that this time. I should have enough health if I don't get cheesed too hard with the platforms here. The biggest issue with phase 3, especially when you're going for like PBs, is you can either get really good platforms, you can kind of just skip all the way up to the front of Nemesis immediately, or you just get like super trolled and you end up having to like sit around in the back for a bit, sort of like this, where we can see there's not really any platforms I can go to. This is a little better. I'm gonna play it a little safe, just in case. And
the other reason we do this drop-down strat is because you'll see in a second, Nemesis has got a bit of a social distancing flap where he can shoot us all the way in the back. The idea is to get away from those optimally. You see Cave using these drop-downs. That way it's going to get a little bit more iframes. That's what he was meaning about. Yeah, right there. So he'll take us all the way to the back. So it'll be a little bit slower just because we're trying to make sure that we're doing the optimal. Coming up here. And again, the old strats were that you get the tachymatic carbine, and then that would allow us to stand all the way in the back. It was much slower, but it's also much safer. But it's such a different strat right here in terms of speed. It's going to make a huge difference.
Here we can see an example when the platforms are not playing nice with us.
Yes. That right there can do quite a bit of damage. Nemesis can... There we go. Now we see. Now let's go. We're going to see here. We're going to see if we can take it all the way down. Let's go. All right. Nemesis down. Let's go. Thanks so much for sticking with us. And you saw right there, when everything goes right, we can get all the way up there. Nemesis gets pretty much nuked.
Yeah,
so
the strategy is a lot cooler when it's not in like a setting like this and you put yourself like 20 minutes back in pace, but
it's all good. And then the remainder of the game, we're coming out here. This is the Nemesis cutscene. This is typically kind of the break going on here. So I know you said if there were breaks in the run, just giving, talking with chat and stuff, it's a bit of a long cutscene.
Yeah, this one for sure.
Sure.
Well, that gives me a great opportunity to remind everyone that Awesome Games Done Quick 2025 will be live from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania from January 5th to 12th. Visit gamesdonequick.com and check the AGDQ 2025 important dates section to learn more. And don't forget to join us in celebrating Black Joy with Back to Black from February 6th to 9th, 2025. And you can find out more about that at gamesdonequick.com/backinaFlash. And last and certainly not least, GDQ's next all-women and femme speedrunning event, Frost Fatales 2025, will be live from March 9th to 16th. And you can visit gamesdonequick.com/framefatales for more information on that. We have so many amazing events coming up the next 3 months. Definitely stick around, check those out, put them on your calendar. I will not be missing them. I schedule my entire week around AGDQ. I love watching it every year, so definitely make sure you check back and stick around for all of those events. I see we're out of the cutscene, so I'll go ahead and hand it back to you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, no, all good. I'll echo what you said. That's amazing events. Definitely tune in, 100%. So, Cave, are we going to do just the driver now, you think?
Or no, I mean, shotgun, again, is also just easier, straight up, for Hyperion.
Sure, sure.
And Cutie, if, this one's going to go over. Depending, how far, feel free to just, stop it at some point. I'll get as far as I can get, but let me know.
What are you thinking in terms of total? We're about 38 minutes now.
Yeah, it's gonna be like another 18-ish. Would be like an average act 2 probably.
Yeah, that's probably okay. I think we'll go ahead and finish it. Let's see how it goes. If there's another death or anything, we'll worry about it then. But I got full faith in you. So yeah, let's make sure we see the whole thing.
Oh, you know what? As soon as you said about full faith, and this is the power of Hotfix. As soon as you said full faith, look what we pick up here. This is the perfect
explosive shotgun.
We got it. Thanks again, Hotfix, for the RNG. We appreciate it.
Little do you know, I'm actually in the code base right now. I'm slowly.
Yeah, that's huge. If you could actually do that for all my runs, I would actually love that. Basically, ideally, when we kill a nemesis, we unlock explosive spit, obviously, right? But the big part is that because you then unlock that trait, at this point, if you take a look at our level, our overall level that we mentioned earlier, you'll see that it's now 15, which is the minimum for Act 2. At 15, you're guaranteed to have 2 traits. You can start unlocking the third one. So what's good about that is if you have explosive spit unlocked, your shotgun's guaranteed to have explosive spit. Unfortunately, this fight usually goes really fast if you have explosive spit unlocked. I don't, so it's going to just be a little longer. Now we have explosive spit. Stuff's going to start dying really fast for us.
Yes. Going forward.
Biome 4, we're going to be looking for 2 different keys to get us to the boss room. This is the first. The biggest time loss you can have in Act 2 is within biomes 4 and 5, and that's with the optional lockdowns. So there you can see we had one lockdown at the very end, but that one always happens. At any point in any of these rooms, we can have extra lockdowns, essentially. And we want to not have that happen. Like this.
100%.
This is an example of one of them, which is totally fine. Yep. It's totally normal to have one in each, one optional lockdown per biome. So not a super big deal.
Yep. So we're all good, especially because we have just this much damage. This is just unreal damage. And you are all going to be seeing this quite effectively up here in the subsequent boss fight. Remember, this lockdown enemy, we saw him quite a bit ago, all the way back at the beginning, but now he's dead. It's going to be much, much faster than before. So he's checking right there.
Our shotgun has crazy damage. Basically, your level, on top of giving you the ability to have different traits or upgraded versions of the traits, it also allocates points on the gun. The main one I always look for in the shotgun is obviously just damage. So even though that shotgun was a higher level and had the ability for us to unlock another trait, this shotgun had so many more points allocated to damage that it doesn't even matter.
And now we are coming up on, I'm going to be honest, wouldn't you say, Cave, this is kind of one of the highlights of the game casually. It really is.
Yep, so
it's
casually, obviously the fight is just incredible. If you've been doing the house sequences, following the story, this part's crazy. Within the speedrun itself, it's also a lot of fun just because this fight has been improved upon a lot strategy-wise and made faster. So we're going to see the epitome of it. I believe I've run Returnal several times for GDQ Hotfix main stage. I don't think we've ever shown this version of Hyperion. So
Nope.
Basically, the shotgun absolutely tears Hyperion up.
Look at that life bar in the top as you see him using it.
And this is the power of explosive spit with the shotgun. Fun fact, on the PC version, if you may see like those little thorns come out of the ground, for whatever reason, don't do damage on the PC version. So we're kind of free to just walk through those.
So this wasn't originally a PS5 game. And you see here, this is that right there. Cave is talking about for whatever reason. And you can get kind of caught up in them, but that's not going to kill us.
There we go.
And you see right there in the bottom left, a lot different. Also, shout out Larry the Pagan for finding some of the specific strats about where to stand to allow us to nuke the second phase right there.
Yeah, so normally Hyperion is supposed to go back to that organ. What we did was we stood in between the organ and Hyperion, and that stopped it from actually going back. And for whatever reason, Hyperion just takes way more damage out here than actually on the organ. So we try as hard as we can to make it not go back this phase. It's a little tougher. Yeah, the timing of it's a little stranger for whatever reason in that phase, but no issue. First gonna stand close up and just blast her with the shotgun some more.
Absolutely. So about to come up here in a second. We're back on track. We're about to have Hyperion down. Let's go. So now we have the ability to unlock the next area. This is Biome 5. Cave, wouldn't you say the best biome?
No. I would disagree, actually. It's not word to say that was the favorite. Don't know who would have that opinion.
No one agrees.
I don't know who would possibly have that opinion, but if someone did,
I'm the only one.
Think less of them.
I'm the only one. And this biome, casually, it can be extremely difficult. These are some very hard-hitting enemies. It's a difficult area to go through. The important thing to keep in mind is that it's a bit of a gauntlet before we get to one of the hardest bosses in the game. We're going to be going down 3 different paths. Cave, I know you'll be talking about that up here in a second, what the different ones are.
Yeah, so one of them at the end is going to have a challenge room, which we haven't, we might have seen it on the map. It's usually a room that's like gold. This is the only biome where you're actually required to go into it. So that's coming in this biome. Again, we're going to be hoping that we don't get lockdowns in the first 2 areas we go to get keys.
Let's go.
Sometimes it's weird. Like that room looks like it should have had a lockdown, but it didn't. Sometimes the game just does that. I'm not sure why or what, but anyways.
We're not going to dispute because we saved a bunch of time, yeah?
Yeah, no, that's... one thing we'll have to discuss is next time we use horizontal barrage, we're going to need chat to very serious topic.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to have to, we have any color pros in the chat. I need everyone to figure out, I'm going to use my alt-fire here, horizontal barrage. I need everyone to type in if they think this is green or blue. So you just saw that shot go out. Not the shotgun bullets I'm blasting, that's obviously green. But the little orbs that shot. We'll see it again soon. Maybe not this fight, just depending on how fast the thing dies, but...
It's a very important debate within the Returnal community.
Point of contention even. Those right there.
Yeah.
These little balls flying around. I'm gonna need everyone to figure out if that's orange or blue for us. Not orange.
Nice.
Blue or green. Did I say orange several times? Yep. Or just that one? If I said orange several times, it's almost definitely not orange. I could be wrong.
Nope.
So far,
the question is whether...
I was going to say, so far we've got 3 greens and then 3 teals. I'm on the teal side, but if we're going for only primaries, I totally get it.
Yeah, no, that's cyan is the real answer, but saying that's cheating, you have to choose blue or green. So whoever did that, kudos, but you're wrong. You're right, but you're wrong morally.
It's all a joke. These enemies, I just tell you casually, if you got blown up by these enemies, you are not alone. That's what I said before. These are very hard-hitting enemies, and we're going to continue. We did get a lockdown. I will say this lockdown enemy is not as bad maybe as some.
Yeah,
but those guys right there.
It's the enemies around them that are a little annoying.
Yep. Yeah, they can do quite a bit of damage, but it's okay. This is not, to be clear, this is nothing like Ixion or some of the stuff we were having to deal with Nemesis and such. This is just, it is annoying, but it's not quite the same. We're going to be coming back down. I believe it's the next room, yeah?
Yep.
Correct. Now we have another one of those mini bosses. You saw them there. They actually have its RNG. They're called malfunctions. These are just really annoying kind of debuffs and additional attacks that they can do. Not debuffs, but they can really kind of mess you up. But because we've got the shotgun now, with the help of the power of Hotfix RNG, it's going to be much, much faster than it typically would. So, boom, but mini boss is beaten. We're getting
crazy RNG to be like. I have just really blown some crazy RNG this run.
It sounds like we're memeing, but we're not. This is crazy.
Basically, so you want the shotgun like up until that exact point. The driver, which we picked up in Biome 4, we're gonna be using the rest of the run. It's just the best for the last boss, as well as this challenge area coming up. But the shotgun does more damage to those malformed enemies. So, like, ideally, you have the shotgun for both those malformed enemies, and then you get the driver as the reward from that last one. So, not only that, but then the driver we picked up had, like, crazy damage allocation, like, again. So, the driver is basically we're going to shoot pylons at these enemies. We're going to put, like, a couple in each, and then try to move on to, like, the next ones. And those are going to do damage over time. So, we're just going to put a couple into each enemy, and then go to the next one. Just sort of keep our damage up and spread out.
These guys, you might recall if you played the game casually, are quite annoying. So this just speaks to Biome 5 and the nature of it. These drones can do quite a bit of damage, but Cave's just nuking them over here with the driver. And part of the reason why we get the driver is, and we'll be talking about it later when we get to the final boss, is it's just great for that fight. But I will say, after this one, after these last waves, we're coming up on the Biome 5 boss, and I don't know, Cave. We'll see, yeah?
The Biome 5 boss, yeah. As you know, in each biome, we picked up all the keys to get to the end of the biome and fought the last boss in the Biome 5. We're picking up these keys, and we're going to head over to that boss room after this. That big, scary red door.
Nice. Right up in the face. I do have to mention, if you play this game casually, right there, go to the right and scan it. By far the most powerful gun in the game. That's the Dreadbound that we were discussing earlier. It's not even close. So we're heading back, going to this boss room.
You do have to put work into it, though. The Dreadbound with specific moves. Dreadbound, when you first try it, is horrendous. Kind of dissuades people from using it. Anyways, so now we're going to put the key in, access the boss area. We have something to interact with in the
there's no boss.
It looks like we just get some cool shin guards that let us go swimming, and that's it. We're gonna go to Biome 6 now, which is the last one of the run.
No boss whatsoever. The boss is you get a cool ability, and now we're at the end of the game. To be clear, this is the last level.
The boss is the fashion choice you have to make by picking up those shin guards.
And you can see, I do have to point out, this is one of the most awesome things about the end of this game. You can see now the DMJ has underwater physics. That's allowing Cave to go really far. We really hope that those arrows don't get caught up with him. Those are the downvote malfunction arrows. They will chase you across the entire map, give you a malfunction or a debuff. But because we have this DMJ, can go really fast, really far, it's not going to be a problem. And since we have the driver, it's going to be just fine. These enemies also do quite a bit of damage, but we have no problem here. We're just DMJing all the way past.
Yeah,
we are coming
the
up
worst
here
malfunction by far is the they can increase your melee cooldown or your dash cooldown, which just makes DMJing impossible. So yeah, you just want to in general avoid getting hit by those malfunction arrows. Here we have a really cool skip thanks to the physics of Biome 6 along with the DMJ. You're meant to fall down there and fight a mini-boss, but with the DMJ, you can just go across.
Let's go.
And
now we're getting our final.
Yep. Pick up a visor that's given us the ability to see orbs, which we can use to traverse the rest of this biome, as well as defeat the final boss. Coming up, we got any more Returnal community shoutouts. I know we got Pascal. We haven't shouted out yet. Some of the OGs like Uprisen, Zenwall, Mental Toast. Our French community, CRZ, Scarax, Distuck, Mikiwi. Also, Mikiwi's also French, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah. Shout out Sawjaw Raptor. That dude's the GOAT. Mr. It starts
Mr. Bibapu.
Yeah. That dude pushed the tower category down super hard and also put in a lot of good fresh file runs, which was hype. Let's see, we've done R2 and Dice Math with the tower. Talk about Duck, for all the glitch hunting. Elle with her findings. Mentioned Larry.
All right, Chet. We have to mention right here, this guy can wake up. This mini boss right here. So everybody's got to chill. Everybody got to be quiet. Everyone Let's see.
We're good. Yeah, if it doesn't wake up yet. For whatever reason, that enemy can wake up sometimes. I want to say it's random. It almost never happens. But when it does, it is just so annoying.
Yeah. And if we had anything else right now you wanted to break down, we are coming up on the last boss. Just EMJing over there. If there's anything else?
Yeah, we got some time before we start the final boss.
Sure.
Yeah, so make sure if you're interested and you're loving the Hotfix content, as I know that I am, make sure you join the official GDQ Discord and add the Hotfix role where you can keep tabs on upcoming events, talk with staff and more. Use !Discord and in Twitch chat. I'm still having trouble talking. This run has got me shook. use !Discord and Twitch chat for more info. And if you missed out on any of our shows, events, or any of our other content, make sure you check out the VODs on youtube.com/GamesDoneQuick. But we're in the boss room, so back to you.
Yeah, and Opion, super easy. With a game that's so difficult, it's kind of crazy that they made the final boss like this. All we're doing is we're shooting the orbs to reveal weak points and then putting driver shots on like each one. This is where, if you ever unlock Pylon Web in my stream, I have a bit where I made a PowerPoint for why Pylon Web is a really bad trait, regardless of what everyone that plays Returnal casually swears by. Because I've had Pylon Web ruin runs where I'm on really good pace and then I get to this fight and I have Pylon Web and suddenly I can't kill the boss at like a regular time. So yeah, Pylon Web sucks. And Opion's really easy.
Last phase. Yeah, and now we're on to the last phase, so we'll be coming up on the end of the run shortly. The driver's just so good for this fight.
Yeah, the driver.
If you guys look up at the life, that life bar just nuked. Last boss down. Not gonna be too long after this.
Yep. So there we're gonna DMJ behind this boss. It's actually faster to get down to this hole through the like behind the boss rather than going the normal way. So we're just gonna run up as it goes down and quickly dash to get down there. And then we're gonna face this way because this is where we need to go. We'll do like a dash and melee to get further up in this last area. Yeah, my bad on the few deaths. I swear that never happens. It happens all the time.
First time, right?
Yeah, no, I've
GDQ
actually never
tradition.
died playing this game.
GDQ tradition.
Yeah, and then we're gonna come up on time as soon as we get the cutscene, which is going to be time. All right, that was Returnal Fresh File. Again, my bad for the deaths. It happens. If you enjoyed this, I stream it sometimes. I stream a few other things. Returnal is probably my main game though. My next grind is probably the glitched category. I think there's a lot of time saved there. So that's probably going to be my next sort of Returnal grind. I'm also trying to figure out Returnal bingo. If anyone knows how to set up those bingo boards, hit me up. I've already listed out like all the stuff I want to do. I just don't know how to like distribute the stuff properly. So if you know how to do that, let me know. I'm gonna skip this because Fear the Reaper's about to play and I don't want GDQ to get DMC'd. And yeah, Lunar, you want to shout yourself out?
I'll keep it pretty brief. It's, if you like the run, if you like the game, definitely come check us out on Discord. It's a great community, and we'd love to help you out, get you to learn the game. And then I just wanted to reiterate these upcoming runs we got. This is a stacked program, so definitely stick around for Hollow Knight and Hades Fresh File Hell Mode. This is a pretty awesome hotfix, so definitely make sure to check those out.
Yep, shout out Returnal community. Shout out Cutie. Thank you for having us.
Oh, it's been my pleasure. Thank you both for showing all of your hard work. This amazing game. Like, don't worry about the deaths at all. That's just part of being a runner. And thank you for shouting out the upcoming games. We do have Stratus, Hollow Knight, True Ending, no major glitches. That's going to be amazing. Coming up right after this break, so stick around, and we'll catch you in a few minutes. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Perilous Paths here on GDQ Hotfix. My name is Cutie, and if you're new to the show, we focus on Soulslikes, Roguelikes, and Metroidvanias. We have an amazing run coming up here with Stratus and Gronky doing Hollow Knight, True Ending, no major glitches, so we're going to see a lot of incredible stuff. Without further ado, I want to go ahead and just bring them in. How are you two doing today?
Doing great. Happy to be here. Hello, everybody. I'm Strat. I've been running Hollow Knight since probably late 2021, early 2022, something like that. And since starting running the game, I've lowered a lot of my times a lot. I've gotten world record in this category. I'm a little over like 70 seconds ahead. I'm like 70 seconds out of second place right now, so pretty good lead going in terms of that. So yeah, I'm hoping some of that consistency can come through and we can give you a pretty good show today. And here with me, I've got my co-commentator Gwanky, who's also run training in the past. So Gwanky.
Yeah, hi, I'm Gwanky. I have been running this game since mid-2020, and I'm just happy to be here commentating True Ending. I formerly ran this and also any percent. So yeah, all ready.
All right. And we're pretty much ready to go whenever.
Yeah, go ahead and give us a countdown whenever you're good to go, and let's get into it and have a little fun.
Yeah. All right. So I'll just go ahead and count down, and then once I select the file here, we can start the timer. All right. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. All right. Just going to start by mashing through some cutscenes here. You may have noticed on the main menu that we were in simplified Chinese, and that just allows us to scroll through text a little bit faster. It saves a surprising amount of time over the course of the whole run. Here we are in King's Pass, an area that many runners are far too familiar with. So right at the start there, you just saw me do a little pause early control. I just paused and unpaused the game to get control a little bit early, and did what's called an inventory drop. Game sound? Oh yeah, it's not going. What should I do? Should I just restart? Okay. Looks like audio issues are coming through, so we're just gonna do a little retry here.
Yeah, hang in there, everybody. We are just making sure that we get the game audio set up so you can hear all the amazing stuff going on in the game. Just give us a quick second to work through that.
It was a bad bench fly position, so we're going to reset that. Unfortunately, if you do lose time to that, it becomes pretty hard to PB. So we're just going to do a quick reset.
Okay,
That'll save us a couple.
It's not showing up in OBS. Maybe, yeah. Sorry about the wait, folks.
All right, we are going to take a real quick break to make sure we get this sorted out on the tech side. Stick with us for a minute, and that way we can get all of the amazing music. Hollow Knight's got an incredible soundtrack. We want to make sure you can hear it. So just give us a couple of minutes, and we'll be right back. Hello, everyone. We believe we've got the tech issues sorted out on our side, so let's go ahead and jump right back in.
All right. Attempt number 2. Who knew we'd be resetting today? All right.
I love resetting in KP.
It's a Hollow Knight speedrunner's favorite pastime. Is a resetting in King's Path.
Hopefully we can only get a few more resets off before we get this run going.
Yeah, for sure. All right, here we are again.
I'm so happy to see Hollow Knight getting so much love from GDQ in the past. Like in this year, I mean, Stratus has been on a generational showcase run.
Yeah. It's been a ton of fun showing up on these. A little Vengefly Pogo here to get up, avoid some platforming.
It definitely feels like we're getting into like a new modern era of Hollow Knight where everything is kind of at its full development. There's still like things being found, but for the most part, like over the last 4 years, it's been like constant rapid development, and in the last probably 1 year to like half a year, it's slowed down quite a bit, which I don't think is a bad thing. I think it just means we're really getting optimized.
Yeah, but that's the thing about speedrunning, you know, you think everything's solved, and then a few months later, a few years later, some new discovery gets found, and that gets implemented all over the place, or we just try something that we didn't before, and everything is all of a sudden like revolutionized again.
Yeah, one day you're killing 3 dreamers, and the next day you're using door storage to go straight to the black egg.
Yeah. Crazy stuff. All right. Just gonna make our way through Forgotten Crossroads, first area here. Hope not to get hit. Very lucky. Nice. So those Gruzzers in that room spawn in random positions, and they can just hit you out of that inventory drop. Inventory dropping uncaps our fall speed, so it allows us to fall a little bit quicker. That was the double spike kill. One of the more iconic tricks in Hollow Knight speedrunning.
Such an iconic runner.
Dude, you too. I mean, you got any percent world record from past.
And I did that iconic trick in it too.
Yeah, that's true. You did do double spike.
I'm just an icon living. Oh, you still got the freeze frame somehow at the end.
Yeah, those Vengeflies can just meander into the golems in that room and give you freeze frames, because when enemies die in this game, it gives you freeze frames, which loses a little bit of time.
Yeah, normally the jumping pattern that he did prevents the fly from dying there, so it saves you a couple frames, but unfortunately it still found its way into the gome.
Yeah.
And gonna be coming up on the first boss here. This guy we are actually gonna kill because it opens up a better route to go to the Grozmother later. So we don't have to go under. But more importantly, it gives us a lot of geo from the chest. Like 2.
A lot of geo, and we also need to come back anyway to
Oh yeah.
fight the upgraded version of this guy.
I always forget that's another reason that we fight it, because we actually have to kill it in this category. It's mandatory.
Yeah. That went pretty smoothly.
Fortunately, took a couple damage. You usually want to do this guy. No, you do want to take damage intentionally here.
Yeah, so damage taking there actually gives you iframes, which allows you to kind of just stand there while he does his little tantrum and just get a bunch of hits off. All right. And there is a geo chest right here, but we're going to hold off on getting it until we get dash. It's a little bit faster to get it with dash than with not.
Feels good
dash.
to just walk past the chest when it's right there.
Yeah. Who needs money in this world, honestly?
A real nomad.
All right. Going up on our first ability here. This is basically going to be our main damage source throughout the entire run. Not this spell in particular. We're going to upgrade it later. for the later parts of the run.
The other reason this is the next best category along with any percent is because any percent only uses the fireball. This category also only uses the fireball. It just uses the upgraded fireball.
Yeah, it's like the next logical step from any percent. It's so fun.
I'm so glad that we don't get the other spells because the fireball is so much more fun than the other spells.
Yeah,
In my opinion.
yeah, and you'll hopefully see me use it to pretty good effect in the Radiance fight, where you have to gather soul and distance yourself so that you can get doubles.
Yeah, generally in this game, you can double hit things with fireball or triple hit even. And the main ways of doing that are if an enemy is like moving, then you can fireball so that the fireball like follows it while it's moving.
Ooh.
Oh, that's tough. Gonna have to wait for another guy because one of those fireballs didn't hit. But generally, if an enemy's moving, you can fireball along with it, but you can also distance yourself. And if you fireball from far enough away, and the enemy is one that can get knocked back or just has a big hitbox, then you can get your fireball to hit multiple times.
Yeah, some enemies you can even triple with Shade Soul, which does, I believe, 120 damage with one Shade Soul.
Some enemies you can quadruple, but that's not really ever used. Well, that's useful, kind of, but not in this category.
Yeah, it's never consistent either, I don't think.
Yeah, you can quadruple 0 with the fireball, normal fireball here, but it doesn't. Oh, that's tough.
Dude, I just got like totally blocked by those gruzzes.
That's going in the Sisyphus montage.
Oh no. Pretty unfortunate here. Maybe we can get this though. Nice. Little fireball skip there. Just resetting our fall speed and pushing us back a little bit. Avoid some extra movement.
Yeah, and someone asking in chat, I believe Chinese for any percent is like a little over 20 seconds. I don't know how much it is in true ending, but it's definitely more. Well, no,
Yeah.
we don't go to limb, right? So it might actually be less.
No, we do go to Lem.
Oh, no, we do go to
And
limb.
we have
That's all
Seer.
skills, I'm sorry.
And we have Seer to talk to, and Seer is a ton
Oh,
of
Seer is a
text,
lot.
so-
Yeah, Seer is a lot of dialogue. Limb is a lot of dialogue. And we talked about more stag stations in this category. So it's probably like 40. If I had to guess how much Chinese saves, it's a lot.
Yeah, it's gotta be a lot. There's a ton of like extra cutscenes and stuff that we go through as well.
So here he's going to go for a 1 fireball skip. That was unfortunately a mistake. He shot 2 fireballs instead of 1, but
Happens to the best of
you know, it
us.
happens to the best of us. What can you do? Nice Jake from State Farm. That guy's called Jake from State Farm.
Yeah, this is the Hollow Knight community lore.
It's very important to get the enemy names down so we know who we're talking about.
Yeah,
It's the first thing I recommend to beginners trying to speedrun this game. Get the enemy names down. It'll help you in the long run. Fundamentals, really.
all right. Oops. Okay,
Only lost
messed that up a little bit, but
10?
we lost. Yeah, we lost like something like AGO, I think.
Not too bad. That's very fine. You might have to kill a couple extra city guys, maybe, I'm not sure.
Yeah. So Geo in this category is like a little bit tight up until you sell to Lem, and after that it's pretty lenient. So you need 500 Geo up there for
Free even.
buying stags and items and such.
The Watcher's Chest gives you like 622 or something. And
655.
655, yeah. I knew it was a random number. And you only need like 400 of it, so you can just pick up 500-ish and be good for the rest of the run.
So that was Hornet. Definitely not going to be fighting her later for any reason. That would just be bizarre.
Yes, that's...
I mean, like, why would you reuse bosses? That's just poor game design, in my opinion.
Yeah. Especially if you're gonna like remake them into a playable character. But that wouldn't happen.
No, I'm only joking. So we're gonna be fighting Hornet again later. For reasons we will see. Alright. Pick up this geo chest now. Just being able to dash over like this saves a little bit of time. Just a 5 on the ledge there.
Oh, you missed the city crest.
Oh, I missed the city crest. We don't actually need city crest.
Yeah, we won't be going to city this run. My bad. Wrong run. My bad. Genuine mistake.
Is it even possible to finish Hollow Knight without going to city?
Well, no, because you need Lurian.
Yeah. Unless you're doing like a meme run or something.
Yeah, there's like only meme categories couldn't do that. Here's Grossmother. She is very quick. Don't kill her in the ceiling, please. If you kill her in the ceiling, the Geo can get stuck up there, and in most categories you can just grab it from the ceiling. But we don't have Claw here yet, because we just went straight here after Dash. So if it gets stuck in the ceiling, you're never getting it back. Oi.
Oops.
Those Gruzzers come out at pretty much completely random positions. So you just have to do your best to try to prevent them from going up and not missing any, but yeah, it's not entirely in your control.
Yeah. So this is Shaman Stone that we're buying from Salubra right now. Costs us 220 geo, but it increases our damage output by a lot.
I don't know if I would buy
it.
That's a lot of geo.
This is true.
You never know when Rent
quite a lot of
could
geo.
come in and all of a sudden you're wishing you never bought that Shaman Stone.
Alright. Now we're going to do a shade skip. A firewall. Good back up.
Oh, that was so tough. That's like the worst way to miss it too, because you kill the shade.
Yeah,
and
now we have to go back and die again so that we can set up the shade again.
It was so close. Do you know what went wrong there? It felt like the shade was a little low.
Yeah, the fireball makes it a little bit awkward. We'll see if we can get a non-fireball this time.
Oh, the corner correct.
Barely got there with the corner correct, yeah.
Yeah, so that shade skip has been done since the dawn of time for this category, but we used to do it with 2 fireballs, so we would do like a pogo fireball sort of thing to air stall so the shade could get higher. But runners eventually started doing 1 fireball, so they could save 1 fireball and shoot the second one at the stag bell later, and that saves like a second over the 2 fireball. But then people realized you don't even have to gather any soul if you just do it without any fireballs, and that saves like 5 seconds instead of 1 or something.
Yeah, essentially it just saves time because you don't need to do extra soul collection for the fireballs.
Which means you can die and then immediately go up instead of dying and then having to run over and collect soul to the left of the shade, and so that just saves a lot of time. It's quite a bit harder. Zero
fireball has been known to be possible for a while, but I've found that like more or less run consistent setup somewhat recently.
Yeah, you were kind of the innovator of that in runs, right?
Yeah.
The pioneer.
There was, I think, one other runner, Sawayoshi, who used to do 0 fireball.
Oh, okay. Sawa would do that.
And Dream Plats, pretty precise platforming here.
And no one ever falls here, so and this is kind of more or less an auto-scroller.
Alright. It's the Dream Nail. We came here early to get Dream Nail. Normally, in something like any percent, you would go and get Claw before getting this. But there is a Dream Warrior, which we're going to be doing on the way to Claw, which you wouldn't be able to do if you went to Claw first, because you wouldn't have Dream Nail.
Who?
You start the fight.
Who?
Who? Yeah, who? Yeah, it's
who?
That's who the boss is. It's who.
That's who?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's who? Elder who? So we're going to be fighting Elder 2 on the way to Claw.
But first, we gotta make our way to Fungal Waste, and we have some sick movement. I really like these rooms, even though they're kind of mostly free. Like, at least in terms of like consistency, at top level, you're almost never messing these up. Nice corner correction.
Yeah, that room does that sometimes. I think it's
TFT, maybe.
No, I don't think it's TFT.
I don't know.
I'm hoping and praying that it's not TFT.
I genuinely have zero idea like how that room works with the dashes. It's so weird. It is the weirdest room that has nothing happening in it. Like, it's completely normal dashing, but it's so weird.
Alright, and grab a notch here for later.
Alright. Nice.
This notch is gonna heal us up to full health, and it's also going to allow us to use a charm later without over charming.
Beautiful Shrogers.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
No one sane will ever run low percent TE. Dude, I just saw this video on low percent TE. I told a speedrunner about it, and they thought it was so funny.
Alright. This is Elder 2. He can do this attack, which loses about 5 seconds every time he does it. And it's just completely RNG. So hoping to see a little bit less of that. And we're seeing more of it.
I love this attack. It's so fun to watch.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Wow. I hope he does it again. Oh, man. So we're gonna do a setup here. The setup is standing to the right of him, but
Oh wow, I got a blessings at some point.
Oh yeah,
I didn't even notice.
You can get random dream essence drops, but they don't really do anything here because you already get extra anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, we leave the room early because you can actually collect the essence while you're in the load, just as long as the next room doesn't load.
Not now. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. But yeah, so we collected early. You have to be careful because it differs based on how long the load takes on your PC. So worse computers can actually leave the room earlier. It's like one of the minor Hollow Knight computer differences.
Oh, that guy
he just
booked it.
Yeah, he sidestepped you.
Wow. Interesting backup. Alright, so that was Mantis Pogo. Usually it goes a little bit smoother than that. Here we're evading this Mantis to hit us out of the animation, so we can quit out a little bit earlier than normal. Yeah.
And we're on our way to 0. Like I said, you can quadruple this guy, but it fundamentally gives you the same speed fight, so. Ideally, it almost goes exactly the same way every time. We're gonna get 6 nail hits and then triple him to the right. And then we're gonna double, hit him to the side. And what we're gonna do here is leave the room so that he immediately respawns. And you don't have to wait for his dying animation.
Yeah.
Shout out to me, once again. That's the only strat I've ever found that saves, like, notable time. I have to say it every time. It's my only contribution.
And can we quickly clarify for chat, what patch are we running on here?
So this is patch 1.2.2.1. I think it's like the Grim Troop update, I want to say.
Yeah, the Grim Troop. One of the Grim Troop patches. There's earlier Grim Troop patches. But...
Oh, right. Yeah. But essentially we play on this patch because it allows for lever skips, or a lever skip in City that doesn't exist in any other patch. I need you.
Good thing you remembered. Yeah, we should make a video. I don't know if there's a video on There might be a video out. I feel like we could get like a more elaborate video on every reason, like every difference between 1.2.2.1 and current patch, because most players just know the current patch version of the game.
Yeah.
There is a very wide amount of differences. Like,
Yeah, there's a lot of differences between 1.2.2.1 and current patch, but the main reason that we play on this patch specifically, because there's other patches with like inventory drops and all the other stuff that's on 1.2.2.1, but 1.2.2.1 specifically is chosen because of the lever skips, I think.
yeah, I think is this the only patch with liver skips?
In City, I think, yeah.
Okay, I see. There's also just a lot of other things that are insanely quality of life about this patch as opposed to other ones that aren't really the reasons we run it, but they are really nice. You know, elevators don't like knock you back when you miss the lever. You can kind of just move into them, so it's buffered. And there's a lot of just like little tiny things. There's also a lot of tiny things that are annoying, like the water we're about to go to. We're gonna do a little trans dash here under the waterfall and climb up some hidden geometry.
Nice.
So this water, like on 1.2.2.1, I don't know if it's on current patch as well, but on 1.2.2.1, every time you jump in the water, it drops like a bunch of particles on the ground, and the particles are just permanent. They just never go away.
Yeah. It makes practicing that room really annoying because you have to either reset the room even though you're right there, or your game just gets suddenly laggier over time. Very bizarre. So we did all that so that we could get a relic, which we're going to sell to Lem here shortly. So that one and that we had to do that trans dash for gives us 800.
She does have a lot to say. Yeah, the Seer is a yapper. I thought you were talking about me for a second, and I was like, my fault.
She does kind of yap sometimes, I'm not gonna lie.
my bad.
So this is Gorgeous House. And that was Gorgeous House. We get very good amount of geo from this enemy here. 420 to be exact. We get a little bit more geo here, and then we should be good.
Pretty much the four fellas.
The four fellas.
Yeah. We get the four fellas geo, and then we're gonna skip the lever lads geo.
Nowhere to Lem here.
These are the official government names.
Alright. We're gonna be trying to get the Rafters relic here, which is... This is probably one of the hardest rooms in the game, honestly. We're doing skip here.
Is that the first time you missed that? Because I thought you got it in the other two GDQs.
Okay.
Oh, man.
I'm just gonna, for run safety, I'm just gonna hit this lever and heal.
Yeah. This is not ideally how it goes, but... Oh, too high. Can we get much higher?
You can do it. Can we get much higher?
Missed Jennifer Pogo.
Unfortunate.
Simply.
So ideally, if this room goes like perfectly, you're basically doing a bunch of damage tanks and pogos on that bench fly there, so that you can get up to that platform immediately. Saves, I believe, how much does, I can't remember how much it saves in TE over the next fastest route, but this relic in general just saves a lot of time.
I have no idea. I'm gonna make up a number. It saves like 17.8 seconds in true ending. Plus or minus like a minute either way. Not sure.
Yeah, I mean in this case it probably lost time because I messed up the main strat and the backup. So
if anyone asks you, just tell them 17.8.
It's just not true. Alright, we're headed over to Sly here, who we saved earlier before doing the shade skip. Pick up the lantern. This is required for two things in the run. We need it for this hole that we're about to do in Crystal Peak, and we also need it for another dream boss later in the run, which is No Eyes.
And for anyone who wasn't here at the start of the run, we are using the Chinese version because it saves time on the text. Unfortunately, there's a couple places where you need to read the text. So most runners learn Chinese to adapt for that. But yeah, it saves about 20 to 40 in this category. I actually don't know the number. It saves 40.
It's so funny how you're saying you don't know it and then you just say a number.
I hope the new any percent tutorial is just full of made up numbers. It would be so funny if I just spent like 100 hours editing this tutorial and then just filled it with misinformation. So this is one of the harder rooms in the game. We're missing the cycle by just a bit, but we're still going pretty fast.
Yeah, sort of fast.
Nice pogo to back that up. That was kind of cool.
Gonna pick up the shop key here. It's gonna basically allow us to get Shade Soul in a minute here. And we are on our way to Crystal Dash, which is going to allow us to move through a lot of horizontal sections more quickly and also allow us to get through White Palace. And I think we still need it for Monowan as well.
Yeah, we do. Nice ball.
Thank you. Doing a little bit of cycle-based movement here. This is basically planned out from a little bit after the middle of the room. I think.
Yeah, it's yeah, everything's...
So they're like proximity based. So once you get close to them, they start to do their cycle. All right, and now we've got the Crystal Dash. And we're immediately going to call the stack and go right back to Dirtmouth so that we can pick up another key.
Don't binge.
That's true, don't
Don't
binge.
binge. That's a wonky mistake, but still, don't do it. I always bench here because the old route used to respawn on this bench, and so also in any percent when you do this room the same way, you like bench on this bench. But now we're putting out back to the King Station stag, so you have to like not bench. It's really hard. One of the harder rooms in the run.
Yeah, if you ran the old route, it is probably one of the hardest rooms in the run.
It's a lot of time lost too.
Well, if you do it like the first time, I think it's only like half a second or something.
If you do it the second time, it's over.
Yeah. All right. We got everything we need now to get Shade Soul, which is going to be our main damage source for the rest of the run afterwards. And we went to talk to Sly so that we could get the key, so that we could open up the room.
Wow. Beautifully executed. Oh,
That guy just missed. He's so bad.
I thought you were about to get hit there, and I was going to be really upset because I just
Those
complimented
guys
you.
never hit out the aim trainers. It's really bad.
Yeah, they kind of suck. Oh, we don't C-dash here. I thought this was a C-dash. I guess the soul was
Yeah,
like better.
yeah. The soul is good, and I think it's like same speed as doing the C-dash on the right side.
Okay.
We used to do there.
Today I learned. I guess the fastest is probably still the perfect C-dash, but no one ever goes for that.
Yeah, no. It's like sub-pixels or something.
Yeah, it's pretty dumb. Nice. That guy can be pretty annoying. I guess the soul also makes that guy more consistent because you have him more fireballs.
Yeah, the reason that we get the soul is so that we can just shoot 2 fireballs at that guy. It's really nice.
And we're gonna go fight
Alright.
Norman. This guy's name is Norman.
Yeah, another important enemy name.
Please do not confuse him with other Norman. That's the other Norman's name. So ideally, we're going to be trying to kill this guy while one of his little guys is on screen, like that. I actually got 2 here, but only 1 is needed. And we're gonna bait these guys up and then interact with this, and they'll hit us out of the cutscene. So 1, this lets us get the geo earlier, which is nice. So we don't have to worry about getting the geo after we kill them. But 2, it lets us do these turnarounds, which allows us to quit out immediately. Well, the turnaround makes the game save faster, but it allows us to...
It's essentially the same idea as the claw early control from earlier.
Yeah, it just lets you quit out sooner, because otherwise you have to listen to it tell you how to use Shade Soul, and we already know how to do that. And plus, not everyone has the full like vocabulary to read the Chinese there anyway. A lot of runners are still like kind of learning, so...
Right. Coming up on the Watcher Knights fight, bane of many a casual playthrough.
You can hit those guys after the gate closes?
Yeah, you can.
I just didn't know that.
It's free freeze frames. You gotta take them.
Free time loss. I love time loss. So strat here is going to be kill these guys. And you can see it works pretty well.
Yeah, Shade Soul does quite a bit of damage.
It's so interesting. The strat hasn't changed since like 2017. And it's always just been kill these guys. So
What else would you do?
I feel like they could have found something faster, but I don't know. You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
Do top runners spend more time grinding the game or Duolingo? It's pretty 50-50. It kind of depends on the runner and like your mentality towards the game, though. There's a lot of time to be saved on just your Chinese interpretation. So now we're going to Lurian. This is one of the 3 dreamers. As we mentioned earlier, you can't beat the game without going to City, because this guy's here, and he is a requirement to beat the game.
Yeah. So basically, this guy and there's this guy and 2 others that are basically locking the Black Egg Temple, which we need to beat the game. We also need some extra stuff for true ending. All right, that's one of 3 dreamers down. On top of the 3 dreamers, we're also going to need King Soul, which we get from White Palace and Queen's Gardens. There's 2 halves to it. And then we need to turn that into the Void Hearts. So it's essentially the game plan. Just to get those 5-6 things, and then just go beat the game.
This is a pretty cool movement of like split of mostly like downward movement. This part we have to do in the dark because the lights never turn on. And then from here, we're just gonna make our way down, and we have this awesome drop where we're gonna do a nail slash to give us enough momentum to make it cleanly through this gap. Just from the nail knockback, you'll see it here in a minute, assuming we hit it.
Hopefully.
There we go.
There we go. Nice.
So clean.
Nice. Those guys are RNG. Sometimes they can just be in your way.
Walking storage?
But fortunately,
No.
ah,
That one is so hard.
unlucky. Yeah, you have to dash like super early.
I might just not stop going for it because I never get it.
I time the movement if you miss it to lose like nothing.
Oh, really? Okay.
Have we explained walking storage yet?
No, I can do that. So, in this game, if the game thinks you're on a wall when you're not on a wall, it'll just store all of your momentum. And the ways to do that include dashing through a gate as it opens, or standing and jumping out of like a very precise position in corners, or dashing like the first frame you touch the ground, and dashing or jumping the first frame you touch the ground after like touching a wall in the previous load. So in that instance, the goal is to dash on the first frame, and if you get it, then you'll save a tiny bit of time. There's another one here that he might get. No, not quite. but it's just stores your dash momentum and useful various places over the run.
Yeah.
There's one.
All right.
You can get it off the
Yeah,
left
that one's-
wall. That's another case.
Yeah,
it's just really weird.
Yeah, that one's very strange.
That one, I think it's the wall is shaped in a way that it actually pushes you away from the wall just by sliding down it. And so when you dash off of the wall, you just still have wall thing storage. Is there no dreamer skip? I think even in glitched, there is no dreamer skip. Unless you do door storage to warp to the black egg.
That was Broken Vessel, and we are about to fight the upgraded version here.
If you want to know more
Or some
about door
essence.
storage, confront the Hollow Knight community Discord, the Speedrun Discord. They can enlighten you.
All right. This fight is also a pretty big. Gets some pretty big hatred in casual playthroughs because it's pretty hard.
He's got a ton of health too. This fight is done with Shade Soul, which, like we said earlier, does a ton of damage, and most of the bosses aren't acquainted to that level of damage, so they die almost instantly. This boss, even while using Shade Soul and hitting doubles and triples, you're still gonna take like 40 seconds to kill the boss, which is quite a long time, especially in a speedrun. Beautiful though. That
Wasn't too bad.
really nicely executed.
Alright. I'm gonna get, I think, 300 essence from this guy. We need all the essence because in order to get into the White Palace, which is one of the fragments to get King Soul, we need to get the Awoken Dream now from Seer.
Oh, and
There's
very
this-
nicely avoiding killing that guy. You save like a couple frames, because when he dies, he pauses your game, but he gives you freeze frames. So
Which guy?
the guy you just didn't kill after the lost skin.
Oh yeah, I killed one of them. There were two.
Yeah. Ideally, you just don't kill any, because they just pause your game and you don't have to. So
Yeah. All right, and that ability we just picked up was Wings, which is also I think it is required for White Palace, and probably also a couple other places, but yeah. So it's basically just a double jump.
man, that Soul Collection strat is so clean. You never miss it. I've never seen you miss that. Maybe it's
Yeah,
just not hard.
so-
I tried it and I couldn't do it.
Yeah, it is pretty tricky when you're first learning it. So we essentially got that soul, so we could do a little bit of time reviews here.
Amazing
I just-
comprehension there on this toll interaction. He figured out what that said like immediately. Strat's
Wow.
one of the better Duolingo grinders of the community, so he really knows his stuff.
Talking about. All right, so we're on our way to pick up a charm right now, which is going to vastly increase our DPS on the next boss, and also just basically throughout the run, just save a lot of time. So this is Dream Wielder that we're about to get from Seer right now. Put out so that we can put it on, and essentially what Dream Wielder does is it makes it so that our dream nail goes like almost twice as fast, I think, and collects like twice as much soul. So it's very, very good for soul collection. Changes a lot of bosses over the course of the run.
Yeah,
Also, every time we place or use a dream gate, it saves time.
this is probably the biggest boss that it changes. Mostly because this guy just doesn't give you soul when you hit him. And so the intended way to beat him is to hit him a ton of times with your nail. Which does, like, as we said before, like significantly less damage than your Shade Soul. If your Shade Soul doubles, it deals 40 or 80. And if you hit them with your nail, it does 5. So luckily having a Dream Wielder means you can Dream Nail this guy way more often because it comes out quicker. It also gives you 6 soul instead of 3. So it's 2 fireballs every time you Dream Nail him. And you'll see he just dies insanely fast. There we go. Like he's already
Wow,
done.
that was pretty fast.
Literally a perfect first phase. And nice second phase. And that was the third phase.
Very nice. And that's the whole fight, pretty much.
What does that say up there? Did you learn the Dreamnal text?
No.
Oh, I see.
I have no idea what he says. Or like, I'm the strong one, or I don't know, something like that.
I'm the strong one. He would say that.
He would say that. That's so failed, champion. Alright. Now I have enough essence to get Dreamgate, which I mentioned earlier. Essentially, it just allows you to place and use like a sort of save point anywhere in the world, but you use an essence when you use it. So it speeds up a lot of different areas. Definitely worth picking up. Yeah. This is part of why we use simplified Chinese, is because Seer just talks out us a lot.
Yeah, and if you're familiar with Chinese, you'll know in order to use the Dream Gate, you gotta press Y.
I think that's just not even right, because it says a controller input.
Yeah, you're just not even using
not
controller.
Even
It just tells you to press Y.
Yeah, I'm using controller emulation software, basically, so the game gets a little bit confused sometimes.
Yeah. Nice airwalk.
Thank you. We're on our way to boss that we've seen before. Once again,
I don't think we've seen this
is
one
basically
before.
just doing all the bosses that we did earlier in the run again.
Have we seen this boss?
Full section.
I think we only did Hornet 1 earlier.
Oh, you're right.
That acid skip is hitting a hazard respawn. So you touch the hazard respawn, and when you hit the acid, you respawn on the other side.
Yeah. Pretty neat. Pretty neat. Okay. We've seen you before.
That's a different boss, I think.
Right.
So this is Hornet.
We're using a lot of dream nails.
This is Hornet Centennial 1. The first Hornet Centennial. Unrelated to the other one. I think they're cousins. So I guess they are related. But we're going to be using Dream now to gather quite a bit of soul. That's another big change of Dream Builder, is this boss becomes way easier. Because with more soul, she'll stagger more often, which means we don't have to deal with quite as many variable patterns.
That's a pretty bad pattern. She was just like running across the arena a lot. And she like iframed one of my Shade Souls. So
Yeah.
pretty slow fight, but I mean we made it through, so.
It happens.
This is King's Brand, what we're picking up right now. It's going to allow us to access the Abyss, which is essentially required to beat the game. Or beat Training, I should say.
Oh, you can turn around to get the Dream Null off? Is that...
I turn around there because it's a better visual cue, and it also turns you around for the stag here.
Oh!
It saves like 0.1 or something.
Oh my gosh. I never knew this.
Yeah, there's some really weird strats on this run.
I should have read the manual. Oh my gosh. This is why he's one of the best runners in the game right now, because the manual is also in Chinese. So
What manual?
if you don't know Chinese, you just would never know that. You have to turn around
no
there.
manual. What are you talking about? All right, big ol' walkling switch here.
Oh, it's so smooth, and he gets the perfect drop as well.
Yeah, that one was found relatively recently by Marcus, I think. Jackman Marcus. We're doing a little sibling climb here. These guys are called siblings, and we're going to be climbing them, and that's why it's called sibling climb.
These guys deal 2 damage, so it's pretty scary area, but not for Stratus.
Yeah, that was a pretty clean climb.
And yeah, there is multiple endings. You can read about it in the manual. This is by some considered to not be the true ending, but it's the true ending.
Yeah,
there's truer endings. This is not like entirely true.
Yeah, I think Team Cherry said it, that there's like no canonical true ending or something. But let's be real, like this is the real
I feel like it's pretty true. It's been fact checked. I mean, we've had like almost 8 years.
Technically, this ending in the game file or in the game's like achievements and stuff is called the Dream No More ending.
Oh, so it's not even true. Never mind.
False ending.
Maybe it says that in the manual somewhere. It's my fault. I should have read up for this.
On our way to get another Soul Warrior so we can get a little bit more essence. A lot of this later part of the run is just going to be collecting essence from various sources. And this guy is also a fan favorite. His name is Markov.
Everybody loves Markov.
Everybody loves Markov. Need a specific amount of soul there, so I had to stop to collect some more. Aw. So ideally there, you just get 2 nail slashes and 3 doubles. Oh, I missed the Dream Nail early control.
It's tough. So now we gotta wait to watch this pick up. But,
yeah.
It's okay.
It's like 5 seconds or something.
Oh, look at that.
Alright.
Already facing right. So smart.
So smart. Gonna bench here, put out to it later. Run away, get yet another Dream Warrior. This time we're getting Gorg. Borg. Or I guess backwards it would be Brog. Ah.
Brog. Bogo's vented.
Oh my gosh. Need extra soul.
Gorbo's ginted? Oh! How did this happen?
I don't know.
I've never seen that. What a save. I don't even know where that respawns you. Oh, that guy just dies. Awesome. I didn't realize that. Nice board.
Alright, that went well. Thank you. Just gonna do a little damage tank here so we can put out a little bit earlier.
Unfortunately, it takes damage
makes
there.
you wait.
My bad.
She's a menace, man, I'm telling you.
There's something in the air. I don't know what it is.
Alright. On our way to pick up our second Dreamer of the run. Ow. That's just unlucky.
And there is an intentional damage tank. That's going to get us to the end of the room a little bit quicker. Yeah.
And try to do a little acid skip here.
Just, you're going to try.
And we got it.
What happens if you miss it? Is it over?
I mean, sort of. I mean, you lose a lot of time. You dunk in the acid.
It's kind of scary if this guy hits you right now. Okay, we're chilling.
We can always bench.
Oh, that is true. There's a bench.
Okay. Oh, I can get the walkling storage. Little walkling storage there that saves like, I don't know, a second or something. It's pretty ridiculous.
It's
Fortunately,
insane.
just didn't get it this time. This is everybody's favorite owl. everybody's favorite jellyfish. His name is Umu.
Yeah, this guy is RNG. I passed the quick time up.
RNG incarnate. It's just an auto scroller, and if he decides to give you bad RNG, you just gotta kind of sit there and accept it. Let me get the 1 sec.
What was the
Very
RNG?
nice.
I didn't see.
I think it was 2 lungs.
Okay, so bad, but not that
I
bad.
mean, there's only 2 RNGs you can get with 1 cycle outside of extras, which are fun.
Fun and awesome and fun. Love extra attacks. I love.
Yeah, and we can just, I think there's like a 1 in 4 chance for Umu just to decide to give you like a whole extra attack just from out of nowhere. Very
The
cool.
only thing I love more than Umu extra is extra Umu.
Alright, and here we are at our second dreamer of the run. It's Monomon. We're gonna do a little quit out. You saw me do one in Larian as well.
I didn't see it. Sorry.
These dreamer quit outs just basically allow you to get control a little bit early. Here we're gonna just use it to dream gate out of archives immediately. Do the dream gate that we set right out of archives. And this one actually gives you invisible control.
Oh wow, I didn't.
So I can just like move around while it's going.
I'm gonna do a little C dash into this jellyfish here, and ideally just explode us immediately.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not supposed to
Sorry,
explode.
not ideally. You want to not get exploded. Generally, getting exploded by jellyfish is bad. I think it depends on the context. Always know the context.
There is actually a context where getting exploded by jellyfish is
There
awful.
is one context. That's what I'm saying. You always know the context.
Alright, coming up on yet another Dream Warrior. This is No Eyes, the one that I mentioned earlier, where we need Lantern. And this one is also very RNG.
You can just teleport every time you. Oh,
Oh, nice.
yeah.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
You get 3 fireballs to start out the fight. You need 2 doubles and a single. If you don't get, if either one of them doesn't double, and that's completely up to RNG because she can just teleport after the first hit.
Yeah, I think it's like a 1 in 3 chance for a teleport.
I believe 1 in 3. Yeah, I could be wrong. Could be 1 in 4, but I think 1 in 3.
Yeah. So we got our No Eyes essence, and now we're on our way to Queen's Garden. I wonder why they call it that. The Queen's Garden.
Huh. Never really thought about
You
it.
never actually see the Queen. Unless.
I don't. Yeah, I guess I didn't really mention her. Maybe an oversight. We're going into Petra Arena next. These guys are really easy to
Yeah,
chase.
this room is notoriously hard in any percent, but because we have the upgraded soul, it's fairly easy.
Old season.
And that is.
I've been fighting off the cold. It's tough out here. Stuffy nose all week.
Dang. Okay, gonna get this bench. Allows us to heal, which is nice for the section.
You
coming up.
gotta go back and get the bench. You gotta sit on it.
Yeah, that was actually a little
That was-
animation skip
it's close.
because usually the bench like does this little animation where it pops out of the ground and stuff, but we just leave the room to skip it. Okay. And that was actually a perfect arena there.
Yeah, that was amazing.
A lot of those big Petras can just choose not to double sometimes, and it makes it a lot slower. But that was perfect.
Time for the best part of the run. These guys can just jump in any direction. So you can just get hit with no time to react. They can also just be in your way from literally the start of the room on the C-dash in both rooms.
That was really
That
good.
was incredible. The perfect use of the Shade Cloak as well. So yeah, you shouldn't even need to heal here. Normally, like, it's pretty often that you need to heal after these frogs.
Oh my gosh, that was insanely good.
They've parted for you. Like the Red Sea.
I like the Red Sea.
I believe there is some mention of like of the parting of frogs in the manual, but I don't know. It's
That was like a perfect split. That was insane.
yeah. Was that a gold?
No, I didn't hear it.
Wow,
I have a cold sound.
that was insane.
That was really, really good. Probably like the best you could expect in a run.
Yeah, that's better than I ever expected in a run. It's probably the most RNG part of the run, maybe, I would say. That or Radiance is up there, but... this guy spawns like before the arena, so you can actually hit him up there. And you can hit him while he's screaming if you take damage. This is also patch 1221, so for those who don't know, he has significantly less health and only 2 attacks.
Oh. Yeah. He has like 360 health total, I think.
Those who know.
Which is not much when doubles do 80 with Shade Soul.
I always wanted to know who this is, but I haven't learned enough the Chinese to read it.
I think it's the proverbial queen of Queen's Garden fame.
Oh, of Queen's Garden fame. I actually knew her for her early work, so I didn't realize that was where the name came from.
Yeah. That was what we just picked up from the big old tree was half of a charm that we need to get to finish the true ending. We are trying to finish. On our way to Deep Nest to get a couple of things. Alright.
So this is where we're gonna make
a dream tree here.
Oh yeah, you go.
Yeah. So we're gonna get a dream tree here to basically make up for all the essence that we've used throughout the run dream getting. So these dream trees basically just spawn a bunch of orbs.
Huh. I didn't know about that up slash on the guy, the goat slash. Okay, sure.
Yeah, that's pretty useful.
Up slashing those little spider dudes turns them around, so they run the other way, and then it also does enough damage so that your C-dash will kill them. So I just didn't know there was an application of it there, because I've only seen it in any percent in Beastin, so.
Alright, we're gonna get our last little piece of essence here, which is this guy. He's just a big ball. That's basically all you gotta know.
Nice. That's a really clean Galeon.
Oops. You just had to go and say something.
Well, what did you do?
I missed the dream nail buffer. Right after you said, "Oh, that was really clean."
Well, I thought you hit it. You got no?
I mean, the dream nail just came out late.
Oh, gotcha.
Afterwards.
Shout out Murray.
Yeah. This is Murray room.
Who fell in this room? Anyone notable? Shout out that person.
I think everybody's fallen in this room at some point.
There's got to be one really notable fall. I feel like it just must have happened at some point, but my memory befalls me.
Yeah. If you fall in that room, I think it's 40 seconds or something. It's ridiculously bad.
Yeah, it's not good.
Alright. Here we are, the last of our 3 dreamers for the run. This is Hera. And I think we're gonna see an old friend here after we collect this. Oh, this is a pretty funny visual glitch. So, because we quit out of the last two Dreamers, the masks are still there in the cutscene. So we've actually collected all of them, but they're just a weird visual glitch. And there's Hornet. Hi, Hornet.
I wonder which
He's
Hornet
just
that
gonna
is.
start showing up in random places because I guess that's I guess she helped us do the true ending. Yeah, she helped us get into Radiance.
Do you think that's Hornet 1 or Hornet 2?
I don't know. I would say it's Hornet 3 because it's the third one we've seen.
Well, it's technically like the fourth one we've seen because we saw her in Green Path.
Oh yeah.
I haven't seen both of them in the same room at the same time, so I have no evidence that they're not the same person, or that they're different.
This is true. This is true. They could just be entirely different people.
Actually, I have seen two Hornets in the same room at the same time.
Oops.
Search 2 Hornet if you want to know more.
All right. And we're talking to Seer here for the last time so that we can get the Awoken Dream now. You know, I've always wanted to go into the White Palace. And now I can because of Woke.
Because of Woke. No.
Because of Woke.
Used to be you couldn't go in here.
Now you can because of Woke.
So glad this year is progressive. She helps you progress the story.
Yeah. Okay. Now we're going to head into White Palace. There's a very fun movement section I'll run. Like, probably anybody who actually runs TEU, this is probably like one of their most practiced sections.
I have more time in this than I think I have in all of all skills. As someone who's run all skills seriously at some point in their life.
Okay. Coming up the next room after this, we're actually going to do something we call Kingsmold Skip. There is an enemy we fight in here usually called a Kingsmold, but you can just do some cloud pogos and get around it and not have to do the fight. We'll see how this goes.
Nice. Amazing.
So there's not really a good visual cue for those clouds. So what I do is I just use a visual cue to put myself to do the first dash. And then just do neutral dashes and a little pogo at the end.
W King's Mold Skip.
Okay. Now put it into White Palace proper.
White Palace proper. Love this room.
Yeah.
This and the next room are both pretty tight cycles, relatively to everything else in the game at least. You can just go between that saw and then beautifully execute it.
Very nice.
And next room as well.
Nice.
And the ceiling boost. Cherry on top. Some extra little wall cling storage we can do here as well. And a little bit of Hollow Knight jank that allows us to wall jump in toward the wall we were actually on. That's pretty cool. You can read about it in the manual. And then next, we're going to be going up a right atrium. I think this is the only category that does this now because of a pretty recent skip that skips these rooms and 100% categories. Oh, the cycle.
I'm not actually going to redraw because I don't actually know what the cycle is. I thought I would make that mistake. Oh, I couldn't even make the cycle. That sucks.
Yeah, that cycle is incredibly tight. You have to be very, very fast. And unfortunately, despite his movement looking perfect and pristine, nobody's truly perfect.
Yeah.
We're all flawed on the
Unfortunate
inside.
in that in the one room in there, but And that this is looking pretty clean so far. Okay. There's one little section here to go with a lot of vertical movement.
On our way to the other piece of King Soul in a couple rooms. This is also another fairly tight cycle. Most of
That
it
is really bad.
Yeah, that saw is a little bit awkward.
It just spawns you all the way back to the start of the room.
Why the pursuit for perfection, though? Honestly, I'm not entirely sure. I just listened to the worm.
A little slow. Oh my gosh.
Nice cycle.
Okay. A lot of dunks in this last little section, so a little bit slow, but overall this is fine. Okay. And
Incredible.
this last room. Gonna head all the way up and grab the other piece of King Soul that we need.
Who is this guy, by the way? Do we know?
He's called the Pale King.
Oh, where'd you learn that?
So
Did you?
that does kind of make sense. He's sitting on a throne at the top of a palace. So
Oh, did you just guess
uh,
that he's called that, or
yeah,
did you read it
Yeah, I
somewhere?
just made it. Yeah, I read it in the manual.
Oh,
Okay.
dude, I really gotta read
So now we
that
have
thing.
Pink Soul. Gonna take off shamans and put this on so we can go get the last little piece of the puzzle that we need to finish out this run. This is a very long and inputless room. Not really much going on there, but you can still save time there because the way the auto splitter works is just super weird in this game.
For any big
So, like-
beginners running this game, I recommend just going into that room and practicing that C dash.
Just literally zero input.
Try to get the best time you can. I promise if you just keep trying it, you'll get better times eventually. I'm not joking.
This is true, actually. I can't deny. You will get better times, which is the problem.
Which is it is the problem currently at hand.
All right, we're gonna dream nail our own reflection and go into our own dream. Spooky.
I had a dream about this the other day. This climb.
Oh. That's very lore accurate, I'd say.
Yeah, what can I say? I do my best to be real. Keep it real.
All right. Movement's pretty fun. A lot of time spent in this room as well.
I've never been able to do this climb very well because I can't figure out what it's trying to get me to do with the text.
I think it just says like go up every time or something.
Oh,
Like you gotta go up.
go up. Okay, I see.
It's something to that effect. Nothing like super revealing about the lore of the game or anything. It's just telling you. Just little reminders.
Did that say quit out?
Yeah, because we have to quit out after this.
Okay, I see. Void heart, quit out. Subtext.
Remember to put on shamans. That's what it says.
Oh yeah. See, I always
If you don't put on shamans here, your damage is like it's basically halved for the rest of the run. So you just have to remember to do that.
Yeah, you can't forget to put on shamans, and I always forget it too because I can't read the text, so I don't get the reminders.
Good. Now we're on our way to the last couple of fights in the run. Oh, hey, Hornet.
Hornet 7 or 8?
It's something like that. We saw her in before the Abyss, the last Abyss trip too.
I wonder if all of the Hornets are going to be in Silksong.
All of them? All 7 or 8 or 9 of them? Or something?
I think there's another one in the next room.
Oh yeah.
Oh, then maybe one of the cutscenes, is that one different
Hornets.
or is that like Hornet 4 or something?
Who knows? I've lost.
They might have
count.
just I imagine they probably just reused one of the Hornets at some point. Most people probably wouldn't notice the difference.
So this is the titular Hollow Knight. Or are we the Hollow Knight? I forget.
I think it's kind of unclear. You'd probably have to read the manual.
Oh, the manual.
I think we're the pure vessel
Oh,
because there's no infection in our eyes.
oh,
Or we could be
So,
made of void
I do-
like Hornet.
oh, that's true. Oh, so normally this attack is like really good, but you actually over damage THK a bunch when you're going for true ending, so it's usually not ideal
And by
because you're not actually killing THK here.
not ideal, you mean like the worst possible thing that can happen at this point in the run.
Pretty much, yeah. It depends on when you get the fountain, but that one was pretty late, so not the best RNG. Okay, and here we are at the Radiance. It's the sun. We're gonna kill the sun.
You're gonna kill your son? This really is like the Bible.
No, the sun. There's a big difference there.
Oh, my bad. Easy mix-up. English isn't my first language, so.
Oh my god.
I've actually never seen Stratus get hit in this fight, so hopefully he won't get hit a single time. This fight is just ridiculously hard. It's probably the
Oh my
most
gosh.
RNG thing in the run.
I'm just doing this for safety.
Yeah.
Normally we do doubles there, but I just want to get some heals off.
Yeah, that's super long too, because you have to refight the Hollow Knight if you die.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is probably the hardest thing in the entire run.
Oh my,
Oh my
god.
god,
It went
the circle went under the platform?
Oh my gosh.
Dude, it's impossible to not die on Radiance in GDQ.
My
I think
goodness.
Viz is
Yeah,
the only
no
one to ever
kidding.
do it. I love that C-dash.
No kidding. Yeah. Alright. Unfortunate, but I'm just gonna refight the Hollow Knight here.
This is the titular sun. You'd have to consult the big man himself.
The manual?
The big manual. Yeah, that guy. He really knows a lot. Unfortunately, Manuel only speaks in Chinese, so... Like I said, I just have there's kind of a language barrier. I think full name Emmanuel.
Okay. Attempt number 2. Here we go.
lock in. Here we go. Much better start. Such nice, elegant execution. Artful, even.
Why couldn't I get that the first time?
You should have done that the first time.
Oh, you're right. I should have done that. I should have known.
Oh my goodness. I'm being blessed. It is a blessing to watch this fight.
I'm pretty sure she's dead.
It's an honor to be in the presence of this fight.
That second fight was like beautiful.
Yeah, that was just so elegantly executed. I mean, just
nice.
Identical according to the manual, by the book, really.
Yeah, the manual actually tells you the exact inputs to do to kill Radiance every time. And like, you get a really good time in it too. The mythical manual.
And time will stop on the dead pixel disappearing. You can cue that.
Yeah, I'll say when to stop the timer here in a sec. Takes a minute. And time. All right. GG.
GG's.
Yeah, that was a pretty solid run. And in-game time, it ended up being a 105.22 with a Radiance death. Not too bad. And this game actually uses in-game time because loads between different PCs cause a lot of delay between different ones. So,
Well, thank you both so much for showing that off. Could you, if you have any shout outs, or you could tell all the wonderful people where they might be able to find you and more of your content?
yeah, so I've been streaming Trending over at twitch.tv/stratsus. I've been doing a lot of Trending world record attempts. I'm probably going to continue doing that for a while. And if you're interested in doing Hollow Knight speedrunning yourself, you can actually join the Hollow Knight speedrunning Discord by just heading to speedrun.com and clicking the little Discord thing that's just right there at the top. So yeah, we'd love to have you.
And you can find me on YouTube at Gwonky or on Twitch at Gwonky as well. I've got an any percent tutorial coming out hopefully in the next month or so. So if you're interested in speedrunning Hollow Knight, there should be more resources on the way soon, but the Hollow Knight Discord will also be very helpful. So if you're interested in speedrunning, if you want to know more about door storage, or perhaps the manual, you can join the Hollow Knight Discord and they'll be happy to help you out with that.
Awesome. Well, thank you both so much for showcasing that. We have one more run coming up, Hades Fresh File Hell Mode. You're not going to want to miss this. So we're going to take a quick short break to get that all set up, but stick with us and we'll see you back here in a few minutes. Hello everyone and welcome back to Perilous Paths. My name is Cutie and we have one last run for you this evening, at least on our show. Don't forget about Hidden Heroes coming up next. But for our final run, we have Retrospector taking on Hades Fresh File Hell Mode. I'm super excited to see how Hell Mode changes this game. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get Retrospector and his commentator Seagull in. How are you guys doing today?
Doing great. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, looking forward to getting this run started and showing off this cool, challenging category.
Awesome. Well, go ahead and fill us in on what we can expect to see, and let's get started. Let's have some fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I think Retro, you can go ahead and get started, and I can kind of give an intro for the category.
Should we count it down?
Yeah, let's count it down. And 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
All right. So, if you're familiar with Hades, which is a game where you play as Zagreus, son of the Greek god of the underworld Hades, and you're attempting to escape your father's domain by fighting through a number of biomes. It's a roguelike, and how roguelike speedruns can tend to work sometimes is you kind of use a max save file. You're seeing how fast you can kind of clear this stuff. This is fresh file. We're starting from a bare file. We've got no upgrades. We're going through kind of the scripted stuff at the beginning of the encounter, at the beginning of the game, basically, and we're going to try to beat this game on the very first run, which is not something that the game is designed to do. So it's very challenging. We've got an added layer of hell mode, the kind of extra difficulty the game has built into it, if you so choose. And we'll get into the differences with that a little later. For now, the basic flow of this game, you'll see Retro just came into this room, fought a bunch of enemies, and now is getting a reward, a boon from Athena. And that's the basic flow. We go into chambers, we fight enemies, and we get rewards to make our build stronger or get items for meta progression. Unfortunately, the meta progression items are not helpful because we're beating this in one run, and the meta progression is, by definition, between runs. So if you're familiar with Hades, you know that the upgrades you get come from the different Olympian gods who are aiding Zagreus in escaping the underworld. Basically, the first one we encountered there was Athena. Athena's kit, all of her boons are themed around deflection, and so that's very good for a difficult category like this. We pick up her Divine Dash, which is everyone's favorite boon, which gives you kind of invulnerability and deflection of attacks around your dash. The second god, or goddess in this case, that we just picked up was Artemis, and her kit is built around critical hits, which triple your damage. Artemis is not a god that we like to, in Fresh File, to put on kind of the main core boons that you see on the left. Right, that's our attack, our special, our cast, and our dash. And so we picked up a pressure points boon from her. Now, in terms of these, I'm going to try and explain Retro's decision making because he's going pretty fast and loose here. We just had a choice between, I believe it was a Palm of Power, which upgrades a boon, and coins. Right now, we don't want to make our boons stronger because we don't have very good boons. We want more boons, so we're taking coins. So to take a step back, this is Tartarus. This is the first biome of the game. It's focused around kind of these low health enemies, and you can take them out with traps, you can take them out with wall slams, you can slam them into each other, and that's kind of very effective. And then later in the game, their health starts to scale, and you can't rely on that stuff anymore, so you need to rely more on your boons, basically. So you'll see Retro's making good use of the sword combo to send these enemies into each other as we head into this mini-boss chamber. So we saw Ares on the mini-boss door, so we know that we're going to be getting a boon from Ares, god of war. Ares' kit is kind of divided in two. The boons we're looking for are based around his Doom debuff, which when you apply it to an enemy, basically waits a second and then does a lot of damage to them. And so we're going to be looking to get that on the attack, potentially the special. The nice thing here is getting it in the mini-boss room means it will be of a higher power level, right? So in this case, we're getting rare Doom, which is a base 75 power instead of a base 50 power. So that is pretty good. The build that we shoot for here is the Merciful End build. This is where you get your Doom on your attack, you pick up Athena on your special boon, and then you end up with, you get a duo boon, which is where the gods combine their power, and you get a really powerful combo between them. We're not going to bank on that necessarily, but we're already, getting the Ares attack is a good start on the way there. Although you will see that Retro's decision making is going to be more biased towards the side of safety, both because the hell mode runs are more dangerous, and also because we want to clear this run in a marathon setting rather than just trying to get the fastest time possible, but have it take multiple times. So there, in another run, maybe we would have bought that Ares to look for another buff to our Doom or to fill another core slot. In this case, we're buying health, we're buying healing, we're staying nice and safe. Yeah, so these darkness and these key rewards that you see, these are the meta rewards, so they're not really that useful. But yeah, the Doom is doing a great job here, and we're clearing out these enemies pretty easily. So to speak a little bit about what makes Hell Mode different than kind of the base Fresh File experience, you'll see in the top left corner there's a little flaming skull with the number 5 next to it, and that represents 5 heat. Oh, actually, we'll explain that a little more in a bit. We're heading into the first boss here. This is versus Megara the Fury. And so this is the first boss of the game. It's based, she has like 3 or 4 pretty basic attacks to kind of teach you some basic stuff. And so what Retro is going to be trying to do is her big dash attack there, keeping her up towards the top of the screen keeps her kind of visible, and it's easy to see what she's doing. So we try to manipulate her to go up there. When she does this projectile attack, you want to not get stun locked by it. So you do a bunch of dashes to deflect with the divine dash. That's coming in useful there. We're also deflecting her dash strikes there. Deflecting is very powerful when your damage is this low, because not only does it neutralize the attack, it multiplies it by 8, I believe, and returns the damage value back to the enemy. So we're on the last phase of Megara here. Retro has not been hit. Just really, really good smooth play here, not being phased by the ads. Took one little
hit, of course.
Yeah, I shouldn't have mentioned it. Commentator curse there, but taking one little hit there, and fantastic job through the first boss and the first biome here. Retro, as we're into this very slight lull, anything you'd like to bring up or mention?
No, you're doing a great job, my guy. It's hard to keep up. There's so much to say.
Oh yeah, so on we move to Asphodel, the hottest biome. It's full of lava. This is actually a good segue into talking about what makes Hell mode different in this case. So as I mentioned, this is number 5 with the skull next to it in the top left. Normally, this is a feature you only unlock after clearing the game once. This is the heat system, where you can customize the different. Ooh, nice trap usage there to kill that stonehead. You can customize the level of difficulty in the run. When you're playing in Hell mode, though, you can never get this number lower than 5, because you're always starting with 5 heat. And so these are 5 different, basically small challenges that are increased. And the 5 that are used here are Hard Labor, which increases incoming enemy damage by 20%. They are Lasting Consequences, which decreases your healing amounts by 25%. So those two kind of work together to make getting hit much more punishing, right? Because you're taking in 20% more damage, and when you heal it, you're healing 25% less. And then the next two also kind of work in concert. They make the enemies and encounters more powerful. There's Jury Summons, which increases the number of enemies in each encounter by 20%. Now, this doesn't actually really increase the number of enemies you'll see at a time, but it does increase the length of the encounters. So not only does that make your speed run slower, it also just makes it more likely you're going to get hit, more likely you're going to die to those buffed strikes. And then the fourth one is Calisthenics Program, which is the it increases enemy health by 15%. So this is, you'd think that would just be similar to Jury Summons in making the boss fights and the encounters a little bit longer, and it is, but in Tartarus and some parts of Asphodel, it actually changes some of your behavior. Especially when you're doing speedrunning, you have certain damage breakpoints and certain basically like little combos that you'll do for certain enemies, right? Like you might know that, okay, this witch in Tartarus, I do a cast dash strike or like a special dash strike. But when they've got suddenly 15% more health, some of those things change. And so your muscle memory from your regular fresh file play doesn't necessarily carry over. And so there's a bunch of new skills and new breakpoints that you have to learn. And Retro is really good at both regular fresh file and Hell mode. So he's kind of got both those bits of muscle memory bouncing around. So as we move through Asphodel, we see our build coming together a little bit. We've been lucky or unlucky enough to be forced into a couple of palms. This is increasing our doom damage significantly. But you know, I would say we'd rather be getting boons, we'd rather be getting health than getting these kind of marginal buffs. Because again, we're looking for survivability and kind of overall power to our boon rather than anything else. Yeah, so we're running into an Artemis here. Getting a lot of Artemis, not liking to see a lot of Artemis in first run. We'd rather be seeing Athena at this point. In fact, seeing Artemis for the first time was an unfortunate take, or an unfortunate chance, because actually gods that you have not met yet, even for the first time, cannot appear in the shop. So now Artemis is in the shop pool, and we'd rather her not be. But that's okay, we'll keep getting boons from her. If you weren't aware, on this first run here, there are only 4 gods you can get out of the 8 in the main game, and they are Artemis, Ares, Athena, and Dionysus. So you have a much more limited pool, which makes it more easy to consistently get the build that you want, right? If we had 8 gods, it would be much more difficult. But, you know, they're not necessarily the best 4 that you would want. Retro really putting on a masterclass there in the power couple mini boss. It can be very difficult because the the floating head that kind of shoots the petrification stones at you. If you get too close to her, she moves away from you, and so people can often get stuck with her out over the lava. But Retro does a great job kind of balancing both ends of that so that she doesn't get too far away. She got cleared out pretty quickly, and we were able to move on from that. Yeah, Astrolog can be very punishing. The enemies they have bigger health pools, so they take a little longer to kill, but also their damage starts to ramp up a lot. And so if you get caught by a couple things, you can things can kind of scale quickly.
Exit has its own
Which actually brings me to the final heat that I haven't mentioned yet, the fifth one. This is something called personal liability. This one's a little weirder to explain. Basically, in the regular game, when you get hit for a large enough percentage of your health, you get a little crystal shield around you that basically prevents you from getting wombo comboed and taken out too easily. Personal liability as a heat basically removes that from happening. So for example, in that room we were just in with all of the skeletons, in the normal game, if you get hit by a bunch of them, you'll kind of be protected. Here you kind of lose that buffer. That can also be important in the second boss fight against the Learning and Bone Hydra, or as Zag will eventually learn to call her, Learning. Because when these heads can kind of gang up, when these subheads can gang up on you, you can suddenly take a ton of damage. So Hell mode kind of makes it a little more difficult in that respect as well, is that you have to be a little more careful with the amount of attacks you can take before you stop taking damage. Here, the way you stop taking damage from attacks is usually that you just die in Hell mode. But Retro's doing a great job dodging these. Ooh, that head slam hitbox was evil. We were well out of range of that.
Oh, it was the projectile curving around.
Oh, it was the projectile.
It was one of the
okay.
homing ones that curved around.
Okay, it looked like a really late hit of the head slam for.
Oh, that
for
would have done
reason.
way more damage. It was only 8 damage that I took there.
Okay. Yeah, but overall, Hell mode is just makes the first run experience slightly more difficult in terms of mechanically because of the muscle memory changing and the fights being longer. And mostly, it's just more punishing. You have to be more exacting and more precise, more intentional with your build choices, with your movement, with the chances you take during boss fights and combat encounters in order to save time. And so that's kind of what makes it a little harder. What I will say is that clearing this game on the first run, even without Hell mode, is one of the hardest things you can do in Hades. It's pretty comparable to clearing a fully maxed out file with heat levels upwards of 50 or higher. Is usually what people kind of say about that. But Retro's making it look easy, and we're through learning here. Any comments on build or anything else so far?
I just want one Athena boon to get Divine Flourish, and that's all I ask. It's literally all I want.
Yeah, so if you're not familiar with the sword weapon intimately that Zagreus is using here, it has two kind of attacks. You've got the regular attack, which is mostly used in the dash strike form, and early on we kind of used it for the thrust to send enemies across the screen. It also has the special, so when you see Zag do a little flip and slam his sword into the ground, that is the special, or the Nova, as it's referred to. This is a great move. It has a large area of effect. It's good for stunning a lot of enemies, although these guys don't really like to get stunned very much. But it's when you get an Athena boon on it, it becomes a giant cone of deflection that neutralizes all these attacks that are coming out everywhere. It's incredibly useful. It's probably, honestly, even more than Divine Dash, it's probably the single most valuable boon you can get for survivability in your core kit in this first run experience. And while we've been pretty good on damage so far, we're definitely starting to feel how anemic this build is as we move into Elysium, the third biome. This is we're fighting against all these former champions, former heroes. They've got big health pools. They don't get stunned very much, and they have very punishing, very fast attacks that are hard to avoid, especially with our single dash being the only source of our deflect. So Retro's playstyle is you can see it transforming to become much less aggressive and more about kind of kiting and baiting these attacks. I gotta say, we've been getting really good rates on the Eye of Lamia. We've been getting a lot of sandwiches.
Yeah, heck yeah, sandwiches.
Pretty lucky with all the euros that have been dropping.
But yeah, this is going slow right now. This is not a lot of damage.
Yeah, we're getting good health buffs though, and we're not getting hit too much, which is good. Yeah, but these swordsmen, especially when they have armor on them, they can just decide to suddenly, dash around across the screen and whack you 3 times in a row for 20 to 30 damage, which can be very brutal. So hopefully we've got a lot of money right now. We've got 255. That's enough for a boon in the shop, and we'll probably have enough for the boon in the last shop. So we've got pretty good odds of seeing another Athena boon because of how the mechanics of the core boon selection offerings work in this game. Where actually our next boon, any boons that we see right now, are guaranteed to offer a special boon to fill that last slot in our core selection. So if we see an Athena boon, it will have it will have the special in it. So that's why Retro picked up the Artemis cast earlier, because we don't really care about the cast slot in the first run. It's a very underpowered piece of your kit until you get a lot of upgrades in it later. So that usually just gets kind of a throwaway. Like this True Shot is good maybe in Tartarus, but after that it's mostly just there to fill a slot. So hopefully we can see some good stuff out of this door. Should see a shop. And an Athena on the mid boss, but we're going for the shop and gambling. Not paying off.
Not paying off.
Should come in useful.
Yeah, that's okay.
Life goes on.
And we're gonna go for the money instead of the mini boss. The mini boss is usually faster, but there are 2 mini bosses available. You can either fight the butterfly ball or Asterius, and the butterfly ball isn't too bad. Asterius can be very, very deadly. Unfortunately, so can these armored swordsmen. This is a very tough combat encounter to approach without deflect on the special. Retro's doing an excellent job of this, though. He's really never even been close to one of these attacks at this point. This is the kind of room that you can go into even with a full build with Divine Flourish, lots of damage, 500 Doom procs or something. If you're not prepared and skilled, and I say this from experience as someone who has been not prepared and skilled, you can walk into this room and lose 100 health and die just immediately. But Retro's doing a very good job of cutting these guys out. In terms of hit stun, and this is something he's being careful of, when the enemies have these yellow or green, I forget which, these bars and outlines, they're armored and they take no hit stun. Once that's cleared, then they're getting stunned. So you can see Retro doing a really good job there of kind of kiting around them and being very careful and intentional with his strikes until he broke that armor, and then the big AoE attacks start coming out.
I'm really regretting not taking that Athena boon, I'll be completely honest.
Yeah, that's part of the game, right? Is the split second decision making of a roguelike, right? You don't know what the paths are going to be. You're weighing your options. We'll have some money for sticks though.
Yeah, it's not impossible. That's for sure. It's just getting a little tight. That's all.
Yeah. What I'll also say about the challenge level as the run goes on is that a skilled player, well, a fully skilled player can probably clear any run all the time if you want to put it that way. But a skilled player is going to basically have no trouble with any build, even with no boons, right? If the game gives into basically nothing, clearing out through Asphodel. In the first run, that part is pretty straightforward. You can be very disciplined about your combat. As you get into Elysium, and especially the boss of Elysium, that's when stuff really starts to get very difficult, and you need to be very good at these using these low damage builds as Retro is, in order to kind of have any amount of confidence in clearing them out, because it's not only the difficulty of hitting them enough times to kill them, but the longer the fights go on, the more chances you have to get hit. And these fights can become really grueling slogs, especially the one at the end of this biome. So fingers crossed that we see an Athena boon in the end of the shop here. Should be about a 1 in 3 chance, because we haven't met Dionysus yet. So the boon in the shop can either be Ares, Athena, or Artemis. And we've been seeing, I think, basically just Artemis and Ares. So.
Yeah. We have not seen a single Athena boon in the shop yet.
Fingers crossed. We'll get him. Nice.
Chthonic key.
Well, that's not what we need.
Well, it's not the last room either.
It's not.
I thought maybe we would be at the final room there. Elysium is also it's not the longest in terms of chamber count biome in the game. Tartarus is 12 chambers to Elysium's 8, I think, but the encounters are much longer on average. The enemies take longer to kill. They've got all these little eyeball dudes that pop out and can respawn. The rooms are much bigger, and it's generally just much harder to clear them out. So Elysium is definitely a difficult point, just because it's exhausting. Absolutely, you get these huge crowds of swordsmen, and it's just very punishing. But we've been doing a pretty good job so far, I think, of not taking too much damage and keeping our health level high.
They are getting a little close to me though.
Yeah, we're seeing the kind of the challenge coming from both the combination of these fast attacks Sometimes these guys just don't get hit stunned, and the level geometry kind of causes issues. But yeah, I think we'll be. Is this the last wave of this combat?
I think it is.
Hope so.
Oh, it's not.
It is not. That's Elysium for you. Right when you think you're done, you find out you're only about halfway through.
C'est la vie.
So indeed. Yeah. So for some background on this category a little bit, there's actually these fresh file runs. Actually, early in the game's lifespan, used to be played on the third or fourth run. You would intentionally die a few times to unlock a few more things because people thought it was faster. It's also much safer. Like my first fresh file clear was on a fourth run thing or route. But eventually, people got a lot better at the game and also just got better at routing the potential choices. And we realized that the first run was kind of the best and the fastest. One interesting thing about Hell Mode is that not only do you have this 5 heat from the beginning, but it fully unlocks the customizable pact of punishment. So if you die, like intentionally on the first one and then go to do another run, you actually have access to the full pack, and you can crank up the heat on, and try on a fresh file to clear with very, very high heat. Come on.
No.
Oh, we got some healing at least, but no, she's not there. All right, this is going to be a tough one. Let's buckle in for a long slog here. So this is the Elysium boss. These are the champions of Elysium. This consists of Theseus on the left, the braggadocious boy, and Asterius, the potential mid-boss on the right. If we had seen Asterius as the mid-boss, he would actually have 25% less health here, but no such luck. So what is difficult? Ooh, nice block there. What is difficult about this fight is that there are 2 bosses, right? Bosses are not hit stunned. There's 2 of them. Theseus, you can see that little reticle on retro there is Theseus attacks from a distance, or if you get close, has a devastating spin attack. And Asterius just kind of pounds you with these large area things. And so retro is doing an excellent job of splitting them up. Right, because you don't want Theseus to if Theseus gets too close to you, you have to manage 2 different characters' melee attacks at the same time. Whereas his ranged attacks, you can either time a deflect, if you're lucky, or just stand behind one of these pillars, and you're pretty safe. So, yeah, we've got a long slog here, but this is kind of the strategy. When you're trying for really fast times and not necessarily looking for safety, you do want to kind of bring them together. But that is not what we're playing around with here, because there's just a little too much danger in that case, and our damage is incredibly low compared to what you have around then. A very frustrating thing about Theseus's spear throw there is you can't time it consistently because from the time the reticle appears on your screen, it's actually a random roll, and it's between like 1.3 and 1.8 seconds that it takes to be thrown. It is, if you're far enough away, it is reactable. Like as soon as he throws it, you can dash to deflect it. But that's something that you basically have to chance that timing while Asterius is also coming at you. So generally, and what we're seeing here is it's basically safer to split up and just hang out behind the columns, because the damage you get from the deflections is pretty marginal there. But Asterius is almost taken out, which makes this fight not over, but substantially easier. We'll be breathing a little easy. Okay, nicely done. Asterius down. Okay, now you're going to see some of Theseus's attack here. What's interesting about all spin attacks in this game, which is only on 3 characters, or three enemies, I believe, which is they're on another character, but this quality is only on Megara, Theseus, and then the final boss as well, which is when they do their spin attacks, they cannot be deflected by Athena's boons. You'll notice we're still dashing through them, and that is fine. The reason for that is because your dash has invincibility frames.
Yeah.
So what happens when you get Theseus down to half health is he summons the help of another god. This god is guaranteed to be one you have not met yet in the run, but is still available in your pool. In first run, there's only four gods available, and so we haven't met Dio, so we get the Dio summon. The Dio summon is dangerous because if it hits you, you kind of get hit with that hangover effect, and you take some damage over time, but we're just gonna not get hit. It'll be okay. And if you've met all 4 of them, or all 8 by this time in a regular run, it will default to Artemis. Anyway, so the spin attacks, they cannot be deflected, but your dash gives you invincibility frames. However, one of the main damage dealing moves we have in our damage rotation is the dash strike, and as soon as you hit that attack button in the dash strike, you lose your invincibility frames. Ooh, nicely done. That was rough.
That was exhausting.
You got through it, and we took some licks from Asterius, but very, very clean otherwise. So well done. Any thoughts heading into Styx?
I really hope Athena's here. I really, really do.
Yep.
I'm gonna save the money at this point.
Yep, so we have enough money for heading into Styx. So here's where the run can get. So the run length can vary a little bit. There are 5 different tunnels to take. You can get out. You can get the Satyr sack to feed to Cerberus in as few as 2, or as many as 5. There's about roughly a 50% chance to get it in 2, and then a higher than 50% chance to get it in 3, higher than 3 and 4, higher than 4 and 5. So I think it's down like empirically, it's like 1 to 3% or something to get it in 5 tunnels. But it's happened before; it'll happen again. So anything can happen. But we're gonna go check out the shop here. Big shop, no Athena. Let's try to see her on the door. There we go.
There she is.
Finally going to get our Divine Flourish. This is actually very lucky because so 2 of the tunnels here will be mini boss tunnels, which means they'll have a tough boss instead of an encounter at the end. Honestly, those fights are easier and they're also faster. So we actually prefer the mini boss encounters in the speedrun. And they also increase the rarity of the boons rewarded. So it's actually very lucky Athena was on one of those, so we could take her first. And Retro's avoiding the big green poison clouds on the ground because they are, as the name suggests, big green poison clouds. With not a lot of healing available to us, that poison tick is very dangerous. You'll notice if he ever does get poisoned, he's going to beeline for those glowing pools to kind of heal it. Because the only things that will heal your poison are the pools or just clearing and finishing the encounter. Yep, so we gotta heal it out there because this poison can also come out of the ground. The satyrs can spit it at you. It's very hazardous. So this could be the final room of the tunnel. Not yet. So the next one will be. There are 5. Yeah, there are 5 different mini bosses that you can encounter in Styx. They're basically big, scary versions of all of these regular enemies: big rat, big pot, big satyr, big snakestone. And then there's also the tiny vermin, affectionately known as Tony Vermin in the speedrunning community. And that's a tough fight. That's a tiny rat that is unbelievably juiced up. And okay, we didn't see him. This is actually the one that you want to see the most, because this giant bother as it's called, because its big bomb attacks are easily deflectable. It doesn't really surprise you with anything. And it has, I think, the lowest health total. So it's always the one you want to see, whether you want to go fast or just want to clear. It's always favorable. These ads stop spawning once it's killed, so now we can just clean up these big rats. And finally, claim our Divine Flourish.
What even are those things?
Finally in chamber 44.
Nice and rare. Yeah, so now this is a very similar build in terms of safety to basically any other, basically the optimal speedrunning build. But basically the only thing we're missing is that Merciful End boon. Unfortunately, there were no Ares or Athena available in the shop. I don't think there were any more boons on these doors, so we will not be seeing the broken combo today. But this at least is, the muscle memory is going to be familiar, right? We've got the deflection on the special, we've got the deflection on the dash, we got the doom on the attack. Everything's going to feel very familiar now. So the remaining question is basically how many tunnels will it take? We're on the 2nd tunnel now out of a potential 5. And we'll see what we can do. This is okay. So we've got the boss, which means this tunnel was not it. So we'll be entering the 3rd tunnel. This makes it a little slower. It's not too bad for difficulty. What really makes things dangerous is if we encounter one of the combats at the end of the next tunnel instead of getting the satyr sack, because those combats are long. There's a lot of poison floating around, and they can be very, very dangerous. But luckily, we get a nice, cool 25 health from our buddy Dionysus.
Let's see what's in here.
All right, so now we're looking for hopefully finding the satyr sack in the 3rd tunnel. Because you see, Cerberus is guarding the exit, and we're not going to fight him. He's our dog. He's our buddy. We love him. But he's still good at his job. and so he won't move unless you bribe him with treats, like any good dog would.
Any good dog.
Yeah. So interestingly, after Tartarus, Styx is pretty much the only place you can make really, really good, consistent use of traps. I think this is because the traps are high damage. They're also high frequency, and okay,
It's gonna be a long one.
gonna be a long one.
You get more
This is one of
content,
those-
everybody.
Yeah, this is one of those end of chamber combats. The tiny rats aren't too bad to deal with, but like you can see, we've got multiple potential pools of poison. These big rats can shake off poison. Just when there's more enemies, there's more attacks coming in. It's these encounters are very, very dangerous. And also, it's just a war of attrition, right? Even if you manage to only get hit once, there's just doing more of these. Just get your health worn down more and more. There is a fountain for healing in the same room as the Satyr Sack, so we will get some healing. But although you may think of that as basically a full heal if you've played through Hades. You might have forgotten that there are several meta upgrades that increase the amount healed by several percent. I forget if it's like 20 or 30% or 25% at this point in the game, but it's low. And also we've got that 25% healing debuff from the Hell mode heat as well. So we're really going through it. It's a bit of a gauntlet. All I can say is thankfully we have that Divine Flourish. Now we're going to play the waiting game with the Poison Clouds. So done. Gotta play it safe. We do have a very, very comfortable health total, though. Sitting at 204 out of 225 is very comfy. Because for the final boss, which, spoiler alert, is Hades himself, his damage is far and away the highest of basically any fight in the game except against Charon, who is not part of the main progression. All right, fingers crossed.
Is this it?
It could be here. It's here. We did it. All right, 4 sacks. Not as bad as it could have been. We're fully healed. Gonna go make a quick shopping stop, perhaps.
Oh, absolutely.
Good boy. Why not?
Not interested in deadly reversal. Give.
Terrified.
So there was a potential duo boon there. I think Retro's choice was framed around guarantee to improve the build versus a chance to improve the build,
Yeah.
which I can't say I disagree with. But yeah, so it was a long road here, and it's now time for the hardest part of the run. This is like when people are trying to do first run, the first time they get to Hades here, they're often discouraged. I certainly was, because of how hard he hits, how quickly the fight ends, and how hard it was to get here. And so you pretty much dive into save state practice. I would wager, I think Retro would agree, this is probably the screen he's spent the most time on out of any screen in the game in terms of spending practice time.
Probably. Yeah.
So Hades has this giant spin attack that you cannot deflect. It does 40 damage in the normal mode, which means it does 50 damage in Hell mode here. He shoots out these skulls that send out shockwaves. If one of the skulls hits you, you then take double damage from subsequent hits. And he has a little thrust attack. He can also disappear with his darkness ability and then spawn back in with a sudden attack. But it's not too bad. It's nothing you really can't manage. It's actually pretty comfortable once you get the patterns down. But this does change once you hit the end of the first phase here. He summons some helpers. Okay, that's not too bad. It's random. These are super elites. These are versions of other enemies you'll find in the rest of the game, but they have incredibly buffed health pools, armor pools specifically, and they have different attack patterns. Numbskulls and spears. The spears can be kind of rough, but not a terrible mixture at all. Because see, now they've been cleared, and now we're back 1-on-1, which is the most comfortable way that this can be. Yeah, we're making very good progress here. So the only difference that Merciful End would make, if you're not familiar with what that duo boon does, is that it would basically make it so instead of the Doom tick taking 1 second to pop on Hades, anytime you hit him with the deflect action, which is on our special and our dash, it would pop immediately. And so your DPS basically just spikes a ton. But we're not doing too bad even without it. And so we're going to target down these ads again. Seems like basically the same summons. When you enter the room, the game picks like 2 or 3 enemies to summon from a pool. So every fight is a little different. But generally what you see in the first summoning pool will be the same or similar to that there. one technique that Retro's making very good use of, as I mentioned earlier, that the spin attacks are dangerous because your dash has invincibility, but as soon as you hit that attack button for the dash strike, which is a huge part of your kit, you lose that invincibility. So you may be noticing that, hey, whoa, like just there, Retro dashed through, but then still hit that dash strike. So that's something called delayed dash strike, basically waiting until the hitbox of the enemy's attack is gone, and then still hitting the attack because there's enough time. All right, phase 1 done.
Go.
Here we go, right at the end, still got lots of health. All right, so for the second phase here, Hades actually gets slightly faster with all attacks. Basically, everything is like a little bit faster, so you have to adjust your timings. He has these laser attacks. Laser attacks are kind of free, especially in the first half here, when they only shoot in one direction. Just kind of free damage on him. He also adds another attack where he can do 2 swipes and then a spin. With only 1 dash, it's very easy to be caught out by that. He also summons all these pots full of souls. There's the swipe, swipe, spin there. One of those swipes hitting 36 damage, which is incredibly punishing. Then we also have these pots that he summons. These pots are incredibly punishing as well, because he can hit them with his attacks and make them explode. The skull shockwaves can hit them and make them explode. And if you stumble onto them, they deal 30 damage, but they also will stun you in place, which leads you into getting comboed. And they have hitboxes that last a deceptively long amount of time. Ooh, that was tight getting in there. And now we're in the second half of the second phase, which means more pots are coming in. He's just doing this little like dash, dash, dash around to make things even more confusing. And his laser attack here is upgraded, but now we get to play Hug Your Dad. If you get nice and close up to him there, the Omni Burst laser cannot hurt you. So Retro is doing a fantastic job here. We've only gotten hit a couple times, and we're coming just down to the end. But this guy deals so much damage. All it takes is one, and without that personal liability shield, all it takes is one little thing. But I think that, okay, we're ready for time. Time.
GG.
Fantastic. Whew.
I told you.
Great job, Retro. Any
Thank
thoughts?
you. I'm sweating more than usual. That was not easy.
My goodness.
I guess the heat really came on there with the hell mode.
Yeah, thank God we got all this snow around us, right?
Yeah, we should go see the sun really quick. Thanks for commentating. I could not have kept up that much of a stream of consciousness type of narration without you.
I'm tired, let me tell you. Ooh. Yeah, finally got that Divine Flourish. Great, fantastic job. Now we get the best reward of all, which is one of the best tracks in the game, and we get to go see the sun rise in Greece. But yeah, that is Hades fresh file hell mode. If the kind of play looked cool, come on into the Speedrunning Discord, ask about fresh file. Everyone that plays it loves to share about it. We've got mod packs and save states to help you learn it. It's one of the most fun parts of the game, I think, is really digging into the mechanics and playing this, clearing it on the first run. So yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me as well. I know I haven't been saying very much, but it's a pleasure and a privilege to be here. Thank you, Siegel. Thank you for the support, and thank you to the community for being such a wonderful group of people to live and grow with. Thank you, GDQ, for having me. Appreciate Cutie and all of the work that you're doing, and Tech. Thank you, Tech, for all the work that you're doing. I don't want it to go unnoticed. So thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
No, it's been an absolute pleasure having both of you. Thank you so much for showcasing that. We are running a little bit long on the schedule, so I'm going to keep the wrap up super short. Thank you all to all of our runners and our commentators for joining us today. Thank you to my wonderful I still can't talk. It's been 3 hours. I can't talk. Thank you to my wonderful production partner, Ray, for everything that he's been doing. And make sure you stick around for Hidden Heroes with Anarchy coming up right after this. But if you've enjoyed this content, remember that you can always check out the VODs on Games Done Quick YouTube/Games Done Quick. And also, apologies. And then also, make sure that if you enjoy this content, come back every other week for Perilous Paths in the same time zone or same time slot, wherever you are in the world, in your time zone. Make sure to check this out. But stick around. We're going to go a quick break, and then we will set up for Hidden Heroes with Anarchy, and we'll keep the content rolling. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your week.